Welcome to another installment of Life Parlay. We have a very special guest today. I'm super excited. It's the first time that we are going to have her on. And we have Addie Cahill on. How are you?
Hello, I'm good. I'm excited.
Yeah,
I've never podcasted before.
Oh, yeah, I'm super excited. I will say this, though. It is a little weird because the first ever podcast I did with John on a phone.
Yeah.
And it wasn't recorded face-to-face, like with a camera on our
yeah.
face. And then progressing over time, we eventually got to a point where I recorded on the face, but it was done straight through the computer.
Yeah.
So this one's a little different for me.
Is this the first time you've done it face to face?
Like this, face to face with the camera on you, because it's a little different. It's a little different when you have a camera on you, because like you keep sitting there, you keep looking over. You're like,
I'm gonna try not to look at myself.
I know. Because I keep thinking about it too. I'm like, all right, does my profile look okay? I don't know.
No,
so it's exciting.
Very much.
I'm a little nervous, actually. It's weird. I'm not normally nervous when it comes to talking, but with the camera on you,
Are you nervous on camera?
No, I keep thinking about it the entire time.
Yeah.
So I don't know.
Don't think about it.
What to do?
Cheers
but
to
cheers
the new
to
setup.
That. Cheers to that. So yeah, I'm excited for what we have to talk about today.
Yeah.
And I just wanted to introduce you guys to Addie here. I met her 2.5 years ago, maybe 2. There was like that break in the beginning where we didn't really know each other, but we knew all the friends of each other. I knew all of your friends.
It was 2 years ago?
I would say 2.5, right?
I don't know. You probably know better than I do, but I'm trying to think. It might have been closer to 3.
Okay, we met like. Oh, okay, wait. Thanksgiving's coming up
3,
right now.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Okay, 3 years, because Arian came in town. Shout out to Arian. He's going to be like, why are you talking about me again? And he came into town, and I remember he like got a table or something like that, and I was like, oh yeah, Eddie, come on by to the table, and you're like, nah, I'm good off of that. I do not want to be part of that.
No, thank you. I'll take a pass on that. That's no shade to Arian. That was just, I'm sure I had something else going on.
Yeah.
I always have something else going on.
Yeah, so that's when, I think, so 3 years ago, I guess, then.
I was trying to think about, before, like, coming on here, when the first time that I actually met you was, and I can't remember. I'm trying to think, because I know the time frame, and I know that you were living with Jacob, and that's how I met you.
Yeah.
But I don't know that I know the first.
Okay.
Was it Thanksgiving?
Okay, so no, the very, very first time, actually. I'll give you a fun fact now.
Oh, okay.
All right, the fun fact here is that I bought a table, like the dumbest thing in the world to do.
Yeah.
Bought a table at Casa Amigos in September. Okay, and that was the first time, and you rolled up with Gabrielle and Reina.
What a crew!
Okay.
What a squad!
The 3 of you, plus I think Reina had some dude like chasing after her all night.
Yeah, that sounds right.
Per usual.
Yeah,
so
that sounds right.
She was running in, and then that's the night that I don't want to put him under the bus, but besides that point, we'll move past that. I'm not gonna push anyone under the bus or make fun of anyone too much.
I don't know where you were headed with that.
Well, we could talk about it later.
Throw him under the bus. Throw him under the bus on the podcast.
I won't say. All right, I won't say who his name was.
Okay.
But for the people out there and the people
if you
in
know,
here,
you know.
Okay. He was dancing, and he had both hands on, like, both cheeks like this, and he was, like, grinding up on her.
Nice.
And just, don't say the name. Yep.
I know this night.
Yep.
Oh,
okay, boom. We're not talking about...
all coming back.
We're not talking about who it was. That's
Someone
not important.
got exposed as a bad dancer. Is that what we're talking about?
I don't think it was bad dancer. I just remember that. That's all I remember. Because at one point he was like this, and then he put both hands behind his back, and his hands were on on the ground or something like that, because he was like, whoa, like, what's happening right now? I know,
sure.
But we're not going to get into who it was.
Listen.
But if you know, you know. I know you know.
I'll just say, the reviews came in, and they were negative, as far as the dancing goes.
But stand-up guy.
Can't comment on anything else as far as the dancing goes.
Stand-up guy, though.
Great guy. Love him.
But yeah, so that was the first night. You guys rolled in, and I was like, oh, okay, I think I know who this person is. And then I remember asking Chris or something, like, who's that? Like,
that was the first time I met you, huh? Because I like.
And then maybe fast forward to like October.
Yeah.
You came by the place once, because that was a time that she was living with us.
I was gonna say, I only came over there to hang out with Gabby.
Yeah, one time.
So I would see you, like, in passing.
So you came over, I think we smoked upstairs or something.
Probably, yeah.
And I think that's when I first talked to you, and, like, it was still kind of, like, mediocre, like, conversation. And then...
conversation.
And then Friendsgiving.
Yeah,
was
we
the
connected on Friendsgiving.
infamous picture of me sitting there on the couch like this, and she's sitting next to me like this
I love
way.
that we're publicly talking about this.
She's sitting next to me like 2 feet away, and I'm sitting there like this, and there's a picture of it, and it's like when the intimate or the divorce is intimate or something like that.
Yeah.
So, or whatever it was.
Not
I forget.
intimate.
Not intimate.
No. Did you mean to say, like, imminent?
Imminent.
Maybe?
Imminent.
Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah,
that was the word I'm thinking of.
Yeah,
but,
yeah.
So
we got in trouble that night. Miss Thing was not happy with you at all.
No.
She was already not happy with me. We were not happy with each other.
Nope. And then that was like the starting point right there, and then
it was all downhill from there.
But yeah, so that's how we first started talking to each other, and then
the rest was history.
I mean, okay, I first can bring this up. We have to bring it up because it's the funniest thing in the world. The date not date.
Yeah,
The date not date was the best.
That's a good story. That's a good story for us.
Yeah, right? Like how did it start?
So I'll tell you how it started. I'll give you my perspective, which is the perspective.
Yeah.
I think. Was that right, like the first few times that you and me hung out, there was like a little like romantic tension maybe, but like so that like just fell flat there. And I kind of put a hard stop on it, trying to save a friendship, and you had already asked me to go to dinner. Like, I don't know why. I know you have, like, a whole story behind that you were, like, not sure if you should ask, and maybe you should or shouldn't.
Oh, yeah.
And then you did. You took the big leap. You sent the text, and I got it, and I was like, oh, man, like, this is not good. Like, we cannot go on a date. We cannot do that. So I texted back and was like, yeah, let's go to dinner, but it's not a date. Like, just want to lay that down. And you absolutely, at this point, in my opinion, should have just been like, oh, I was asking you as a date, so let's just not go, and that's cool. Like, let's just be friends. But he's like, no, of course it's not a date. What do you mean a date? Like, craziness. So it's at this, like, fancy restaurant. And
where'd we go? We went to Olive and Ivy.
We went to Olive and Ivy.
Oh, yeah.
So they've got this, like, lit up, like, romantic, like, patio dining area. And we went and, like, got all dressed up and went, and it was not a date, and it was one of the more strange experiences.
I think the best part about it, though, is that in my mind it was still a date, technically.
Yeah, and in my mind it was not a date.
No, but I didn't have to pay at the end for you, so that was awesome.
Yeah,
you had gift cards.
I had gift cards.
Gift cards. That was the best part. When you had the gift cards, I was like, oh, yes.
I was like, don't worry, I got this.
So I didn't have to pay.
I got
for
my
that.
half.
Yeah,
and
that was awesome.
Another little fun fact about that, because that story is just multi-layered. Our other friend, shout out to Mr. Chris, crashed it. He knew it was going on.
Oh my goodness.
He knew.
He goes, the worst thing was, all of a sudden he pops up out of nowhere, and then later on I go, why'd you come? He goes, well, we didn't know. We just went.
Yes, he did. Of course he did.
We just went to go see, like, we went to, like, Troy's like, let's go to Olive and Ivy. Let's go. And
just coincidentally, he knew that it was happening. He knew it was going to be funny to watch. Because Chris knew that we weren't, like, on the same page at that point.
Yeah.
And so he was like, I gotta go see this.
Oh my goodness. I couldn't
So
believe
he crashed it. And I was, like, sitting there, because I was facing inwards. I could see the dining table, or the dining room inside, and you were facing, like, the parking lot. And so I saw him walking up, and I was like, oh, man. And he just comes up to the table, and he's like, what's up, guys? And we were like,
yeah.
What is up, Chris?
Because I told him.
We're just struggling through this not date right now.
But it wasn't that bad, right?
No, it was fun.
Because then you could look at it now and be like, no, we went on a friend date.
Well, no, because we do that all the time now. Like,
yeah,
go out
in the moment, though,
we were not on the same page.
No, we were not. And then once I was there, I was like, okay, I will say this. I will say it, is that in the beginning, I was like, okay, I'm gonna make it where it just seems like we're friends, like in this date, but
you're gonna change the
I
tides.
was like, this is gonna work for me. He was pretty sure. This is gonna happen. Sure enough, it just right away like clicked.
Okay.
Just like friendship. But that was it. Right after that, then pretty much
it was over then.
Yeah, then that was it. Like I mean, there was no more tension ever.
It was extinguished.
Yeah, I mean, from there on, there was no more tension ever.
No.
I think it all kind of.
No, not really. Yeah, no, not really. I have a funny story though about because there were 2 times that we like had a little drunken little kiss moment, and
2 times. I got in trouble for that.
2 times. Remember? Yeah, because I lied and said it was once, and you told the truth and said it was twice, and a lot of this is I feel not gonna make sense because I keep referencing like that we got in trouble.
Okay, we got in trouble because of a person that said they liked me, but I wasn't seeing them.
We got in trouble because a woman marked her territory and then was upset when she had passed on him that he moved on to other people. She was upset. She wanted him to only be in love with her, and God forbid, you know.
There it is.
That's what it was. So, I mean, and I get it. So, but this is my little funny tidbit. The second time it happened, not to say that, like, I didn't, like, want to kiss you or whatever, but the second time it happened, the reason it happened to me is always so funny, because we were at a party, or maybe we had come back after going out or something, but we were at your house, and I had gone upstairs to your room because I needed to use the restroom. Like, use the restroom.
You're telling me this.
And so I went, and I was like, nobody's gonna come upstairs. There's nothing upstairs. It's just bedrooms. So I was like, nobody's coming up here, you know. This is a safe place to use the restroom. So I go, and I come out, and literally I open the bathroom door and walk out of your bedroom, and you're, like, walking in your bedroom. And I was like, no, you cannot go in the restroom right now. Like, you can't. But I didn't want to say that because I didn't know you that well at that point, and I was a little embarrassed. So I literally, like, we passed each other, and I, like, pulled him around and started making out with him because I was like, I'm going to keep him from going in this restroom at any cost. So that's a, you know, that's a little fun one. I don't think you knew that for a while after.
I think that's like a clutch move, though, if we think about it.
It was. I knew it was going to work. You have to
think about it, too, though, in this sense, is that roles reversed would not work because then you'd be like, what the fuck?
Yeah, I'd be like, I'm trying to go pee. Like, can you not, grab me?
Yeah, like, what are you doing? Like, don't come up, don't make a move on
it only works if you're a girl, and that's not to say, like, girls don't kiss people who aren't into, you know, kissing you. But I knew it was going to work, so.
Yeah, so,
what a fun history we have.
Yeah, it is. That's why I thought this was going to be a good one, because I think that it's just funny how we started and then where we went, and then kind of like in the middle there was like that gray area too, but it was just because like I was on like.
Well, it's weird like transitioning from.
It is.
Being like into each other to not.
Yep. Yeah, that's like a little weird little curve you get it around, but yeah, like where we are now. I mean, it's cool.
We made it.
So all right, so I do want to go over.
Yeah.
I said this was like the hardest part one for you.
Okay. What?
So I say this one's kind of like school, right? Like you're a freshman in college.
Yeah. Mhm.
Yeah. Are you looking good?
I'm checking.
All right. So, Tell us. Introduce yourself.
Do you want me to? Okay.
Yeah. Address the people. Address the people. I like
that. Well, okay. Yeah. I mean, so obviously, we met through all of our ASU friends.
Okay. But maybe address me.
That was my original that was my original schooling that I started with. I grew up in Arizona. I was born here.
Okay.
Lived here my whole life in the same spot in Phoenix. And then when I graduated high school, only applied to ASU, only wanted to go there. My whole life only wanted to go there. Both my parents went to ASU. And got in, no problem. And just absolutely fucked it up my freshman year. Like, fucked it up bad. Which is really easy to do, by the way, at ASU. When you go in as a freshman, it's just super, super easy to get sucked into, like, partying and just wanting to hang out with your friends. This is the first time in your life that you don't have to go to class, you know, like you do, but you can choose not to, and nobody can say anything. Like, you're not going to get kicked out of class for not showing up. So I did exactly that. I just kind of, like, partied my whole first semester away. Didn't really go to class that often. Didn't really pass any of my classes. I think I passed one of them. Yeah, it was tough. And, which is really weird for me, like, not reflective of, I'm usually, in the past, was always, like, a really good student, and so I think I just, like, kind of wilded out, and then I started dating this guy, and was super, super into that, and he didn't go to ASU, and so I was leaving campus all the time, second semester. I was, like, never on campus. I always just wanted to hang out with him.
He went to a different school.
He, no.
No,
he didn't go to school.
No, but you know what I'm saying? Like, when you're in high school and you're like, oh, you have a girlfriend? You put on Facebook on, like, sophomore
Do you want me
year.
to drop his name?
No, but, like, that's what I used to do. Like,
yeah, he was real.
Okay, but that's what I'm saying. Like, when you're in school and you're
like,
Facebook
nobody.
Who are you dating? Be like, she goes to another school.
That's how all my friends were, because none of them knew him except my one friend from high school. Did know who it was because he went to high school with us. So, started dating him and then just completely dropped out. Just completely. I was so, like, involved with that I just didn't prioritize school at all. So I left, didn't go to school for, like, I don't know, half a year after that. And by that point, couldn't go to ASU anymore because I had failed out.
Yeah.
You know, or withdrawn from all of my classes. So then I started going to PVCC, which is a community college here in Paradise Valley, and went there for like a year and a half, and then started teaching dance and competing professionally with the studio that I was with, and that just didn't leave any time for school anymore.
Yeah.
So I stopped going to school again for that whole year. And now I'm back at the same place. I'm back at PVCC, working on it again. But I've had a really, like, on and off relationship with school because life has just, like, gotten in the way.
It's okay, because, I mean, I'm sure you know about me, but this is my 6th year of school. And I'm still going for my bachelor's.
Same, me too.
But luckily this year finally is in the senior year, so I get to
finally
do it in spring. Get to graduate in spring. It feels weird to say that. I will say that.
Yeah.
But same thing though, because it's funny. 6 years ago, 6.5 years ago, if you would have asked me where I was, like where you're gonna be at 23, 24.
Oh my God, right?
I would have looked at Jim and like, I don't know. I mean, I still remember to this day, my dad walked into the room and he goes, hey, can I apply to college?
Yeah.
And I go, I don't know. And he goes, well, if you want to live here, you gotta go to school.
Right.
And I go, what do you mean? He goes, well, if you don't,
you're not gonna live in my house.
Yeah, he goes,
rent free.
Yeah, he goes, if you're not gonna go to school, then you gotta go get a job. And if you're gonna get a job, then you're probably gonna move out, right? And I was like, oh, okay. I go, yeah, let's do it. So then I was like, okay, well, what should I sign up for? And
yeah, how did you, by the way, get to ASU? Because you're from so far away.
Okay. So, what I did originally was I did heating, ventilation, and air conditioning for 6 weeks. It was a 6-week program.
That does not seem on brand for you.
Monday, Wednesday, Friday.
Was this in
Illinois at a community college.
Yeah.
Did that for
that is so not you.
6 weeks. On my hands and knees every day. I was like, this is horrible. Can't do this, right?
That sounds horrible.
And then I decided that wasn't for me.
Yeah.
But I didn't tell my dad that it was only a 6-week program. So I pretended that I had one class. He thought
you were still going?
Well, I had one class like during the week. But then I eventually told him.
Would you just leave the house and pretend?
Well, I would go to, like, I don't know if I ever told him this, but he's gonna find out now. Is that
honesty hour.
I would probably go to my cousin's house and then we'd work together.
You're like an awful cheating boyfriend who's like
only that one day of the week.
He's
though.
like, I'm working late.
But
and
I think
really,
eventually
like,
I told him. I told him though, like 12 weeks of the semester, like of the 14 or 16 weeks that there is.
You said it was 6 weeks.
Yeah, so like the 12th week. So 6 weeks later, I thought she told him.
So a month and a half later, you were like, I haven't really been going to
I
school.
think I told him, I was like, look, like I screwed up with the scheduling. I didn't do this right. I think I just want to take regular classes come like the spring semester. He was like, okay, cool. So I think he's heard it before, but I jogged his memory just now. And,
Okay.
And if someone else just heard it, I apologize, Mom. But so then spring semester, I took regular classes. Now, when I say I took regular classes,
like remedial classes?
I
like
did not do very good on ACT. So when I did my placement tests, I did even worse on those. And I was like in English 99.
Oh, that is tough.
I had a literature class.
Yeah, like a reading class.
And then like a math class that was like... no, I didn't even take the math class. I took like something else, right? So I took like 3 classes. Kept it simple. Worked with my cousin still, so I still kind of saved up a little bit. Worked at the type of company I worked for. And then the next semester was in the normal classes.
And how was that? That jump from remedial
to
normal.
Of 6 credits to taking 15 credits of regular classes.
It's a big jump.
But it was very easy.
That's good.
Because I had like speech class and like
they weren't
English,
like the
English
subjects.
101, stuff like that. So like very just like basic things. And then it was in that class actually that I realized I wanted to do like communication, right? I thought that in my mind I love talking to people. I love talking so much, right? Exactly. And so then like the next semester I did some more classes, and then the next semester took some more, whatever it was, and then I remember telling my dad or my parents, I go, yeah, I want to go and transfer somewhere else. I want to get out of here. Like, I'm not, like, hitting my full potential.
Were you just sick of, like, the small town vibe? Because you're from a very small town.
I wouldn't say, like, okay, I went to school in a small town. My actual town myself, like, St. Charles, is so close to a bunch of other big towns where it's, like, let's say 150,000 people plus in each town, all back to back to back to back.
Is that a lot of people?
Yeah. And you're out
150,000?
Yeah, 150,000.
That's a lot?
Per, like, little town. So town, 150,000.
Because I feel like Phoenix is, like, a few mil.
Yeah, so 150,000, and then you have, like, 400,000, 600,000, like, Naperville, like, a bunch of these different towns all surrounding it, right? And you're only an hour outside the city, too. And, like, you're close to the burbs.
Sounds like a small town.
It's not that small.
The way you're talking about it sounds like a small town.
I mean, you run into the same people at this bar every time.
Right, yeah.
But anyways, so...
You could say that about Scottsdale, too, though, which is hilarious because we'll come back, but, like, just quick tangent. Scottsdale feels like so big and so many people there when you first start going, like, to the bars in Scottsdale if you're, like, a clubber, which I definitely... was when they were open. When you first, like, go, it's like Vegas. It's, like, all the lights and all these bars and whatever, and then the more you go, it's literally all the same people, all the same groups of stupid men buying tables every weekend, like, the same dumbasses every single time you go.
Yeah.
And it seems cute. It is a big city. It's a huge city. It's, like, a ton of people, but the same people every time.
See, but it is like that, too, but... Pretty much, okay, so Scottsdale is big, right? So you have pretty much from just north of Tempe, right, to all the way up to where we are, where it's a 30-minute drive almost.
Right, yeah.
And yet...
It's all technically Scottsdale.
And yet, up here, I pretty much have locked down everywhere to go. There's nowhere, like...
I, like, never explore up here, which is so funny, because I've lived here up in North Scottsdale for, like, a year and a half, and I... don't feel like I know really anything that's up here. I'm never up here.
Yeah.
I'm in my house if I'm up here. Otherwise, I just, like...
But it's weird, though, because if you think about it, so we're here, right? So, okay, we're here. Then you have this, like, kind of dead space in the middle. Which
it is dead space.
Between Old Town and, like, and so all you have in the middle, really, is, like, Talking Stick, like, the resort. And that's really it. I mean, there's maybe some shops, but...
Yeah.
I don't know, like...
I don't know. I don't go there.
Yeah,
there is, like, a mall.
Yeah, but, stay away from those people. So then, and then below that, obviously, between Old Town and Tempe, there's really nothing either.
Right.
I mean, that's all, like, botanical gardens or whatever else, and...
Yeah.
It's really not that big.
Which are really fun. I highly recommend botanical gardens.
So anyway, so back to it.
Yeah.
Really fast. I'll clean up quicker.
Yeah, continue. You wanted to get out of there.
Yeah, so I started looking up schools, and my first school I found was Maui College. Maui College was 5K.
You were gonna go to Maui?
Maui. So it's a UH school, but it's in Maui. So it's a University of Hawaii school, but it's in Maui.
And you didn't do that?
No, because 2 reasons. 2 reasons. So it was cheap for school.
Okay.
It was cheap for school. Wait. So it was cheap for school, and it was like 5K like a year for school, but it would cost $28K a year for housing. And when
okay, that
housing,
sounds like ASU, like all together.
Yeah, but you get a room that's the size of this, with a bathroom and a kitchenette, and that's
okay. Sounds good.
Okay, and then my second thing.
You're like, okay.
Okay, but the second thing. This one was a kicker for me.
Okay,
this one was a kicker. The price of that wasn't that big because, in my mind, someone was paying for that, not me. So,
okay.
So, and then I started looking at it and realizing that it costs $1,000 to get there on a flight to and from. That means that I would have to stay and not come home for like my sister having 2 kids.
Or get
deaths,
a job,
or weddings, or anything like that.
Or get a job and then pay for the flight.
Sure. Yeah, no.
Okay, not gonna happen. No, yeah.
I was there for one thing only in
All
school,
right,
and then I realized too that I probably would have been on my like 3rd year right now because I probably would have picked up something stupid like surfing, or I would have had one of my bad ideas and been like.
First of all, let's not disrespect the surfers.
You can't. Oh, I thought you were gonna say you can't see me as a surfer.
Some stupid like surf. No,
well,
I'm
no,
sure
like me stupid like. That's what I would be doing every single day, and then instead of class, right?
Yeah, that sounds like me. I'd be like, Hawaii's a vacation. Hold on now.
Okay.
I still got all.
I just wanted to make sure.
Got all this.
I just want to make sure. But yeah, so
shout out to 14 Hands Wine.
14 Hands.
It was $8.
So then I went to look at. I didn't even went to. I went online and then I looked at Long Beach in California, and they needed 60 credits to transfer. Only was going to come with like 42. Went out of the way with that one. Sat there, didn't know what to do, and then
you said, you know, it sounds fun.
Well, no, my cousin.
ASU.
My cousin goes, "Hey, what's HPVU?" And I go, "What?" And he goes, "Remember from TED when he goes HPVU?" And I go, "Oh yeah."
Let's go.
Yeah.
That's ASU,
So,
sweetie
ASU.
pie. Have you gotten an STD since being here?
Nope.
Me neither.
Nope.
Cheers to that.
Cheers. Oh, I need more. So yeah, so then
STDU. That's no joke. That's really no joke.
Oh yeah.
ASU is.
They say it was like. Well,
infested.
I remember the number was like 1 in 4 have an STD.
I think that's generous. I think it's probably more than that. I'm not kidding. Or have had, and something like we're not talking like for life.
Not like
STDs,
AIDS, right? But.
Well, I hope not. But I'm talking about like people that have had the clap. I mean, I'm seriously like 65 or 70% of it.
People that like take crack or something like that, like they do it once.
Take crack.
Well, like
who's taking crack?
No, but like that's what I'm. It was like a.
Who takes crack?
No, it was like a metaphor.
Who are you friends with?
Metaphor.
I've never taken crack.
Me neither, but metaphor. It's like people that take crack. Like once they do it once, like it's gonna keep coming back. Like they're just gonna keep doing it. So that means like if
I don't know
people
what
clap,
you're getting at here.
So people like get clapped the first time, chances are they're probably just gonna keep getting it.
I mean.
Can you keep getting it?
Yeah, I think yes, you definitely can.
Take the medication, it goes away.
You just take some antibiotics.
It's always there though, right?
I've never had the cough.
But
I don't know that from experience.
Flames or something. I don't know how that works.
No, that's herpes you're thinking of.
I don't know. But.
Anyways, big shout out to ASU. Please don't kick us out for saying that. But
no, they know it. They know it. They know that
Michael
stuff.
Crow's doing his very best to get rid of the party school reputation, and I don't appreciate that. I'll tell you that much.
I will say this. So I was on my phone and I found this.
Oh, you were on your phone earlier?
Yes, I was.
What a fun time.
What I found was I think it was from BBC News, and I just wanted to bring this up really fast.
Are they commenting on ASU? Because I feel like they shouldn't.
No,
be.
But Arizona is a part of this because we're here.
Mm-hmm.
47 states of the 50 are all now in an uncontrolled spread of COVID. So
Arizona for sure, we're a hot spot. It's really bad here.
Yeah, so
it's really bad here.
That was big for me because I fly next week to Illinois.
Yeah.
And
next week?
Next week on
Are you staying there the whole time from now until Christmas?
No, till the 30th. And I come back the 30th.
Oh, okay.
So, but I saw like the website from I think it was like United or American or whatever, and they said that they will be either taking a rapid COVID test in the airport when I get off the plane, or I have to tell them I'm quarantining.
I think that you are supposed to quarantine once you land, because it won't always show up right away.
Yeah.
You won't always test positive right away. Sometimes like the virus has to cook a little in your system.
And it's because we don't know what the fuck really happens. Like, you could have it. Like,
I certainly do.
You know what I mean? Like, if we knew, we knew. But
I'll tell you, there is some crazy stuff about COVID that I mean everybody knows, but I just know because where I work, we have to send everybody that walks. Excuse me. Everybody that walks in the door has to have a COVID test done, and everybody we've had that has tested positive has had no symptoms.
Yeah. And
I have this one girl, obviously, you know, I'm not going to throw her under the bus or anything, but I have this one girl who's trying to get surgery, and she tested positive, and she is she's like, I don't have symptoms, and she's just living her life like normal. Like, she's telling me this on the phone, that she's still going to work.
Yeah.
She's still going to get, like, her medical clearance done and stuff, and I'm on the phone with her, and I'm like, girl, you gotta stay home. Like, you are positive with COVID. It doesn't matter that you don't have symptoms.
Yeah.
You can't be, like, walking around. You know what I mean? And so I sent her out for a second one 2 weeks later after her first one. She's still positive, and she's still, like, walking around and doing stuff. And I'm like, that's why. I mean, I'm not gonna, like, go on a soapbox about it, but Arizona's bad.
So,
for that reason.
I also think, too, obviously people for our age, right? So you have to think, in that sense, some people use this when they get sick. I don't know how you are when you get sick, but, like, okay, if you told me, if we shared a drink and then tomorrow you said, hey, I have strep throat, right? Then you're sitting there going, like, oh, man, like, I probably have it, like, you're scratching your throat because it hurts, right?
Yeah.
So I feel like that could be what happens to certain people. Because, like, especially our age, like, I've known a couple people that had it, and they're like, oh, yeah, like, symptoms were horrible, and I go, well, probably because you also probably, like, let it, like, overtake you, right? I mean, when you get a flu, or you feel sickness coming out, I don't know what you do, but, like, for me, I quadruple the water, I quadruple the water, I start taking, just start hitting, I mean, every mixture I can within a legal limit of, like, what my body can take of how much medicine and just...
Oh my god, do you want to know a fun story about that? It's not fun.
Oh, I do want to know, yeah.
I have a friend, big shout out to Daniel. That's my friend that him and I are gonna be...
His podcast?
Doing a little bit. He actually does have a podcast.
Link it out right now.
Oh, yeah, okay, so it's called Popcorn Podcast. Shout out to them. They're really, really funny group of guys, 4 of them. 4 of them? Forgive me if it's 3. And they do pop culture, and they, like, watch movies and stuff and talk about them. Really great stuff. Anyways, he is, my friend of a very long time, and one day he was feeling sick. You know, he had been, like, a little sick, maybe, and he had been taking, like, a bunch of Tylenol. I think it was Tylenol. Like, just way too much. Like, 4 every 2 hours. Like, way too much
like,
Tylenol.
Way more than, like, what they say.
Way too much. Like, he was, like, quadrupling the daily limit of what you should be taking for Tylenol. It was that, or it was, like, Dayquil, something. And, but he was, like, feeling good because he was taking so much medicine, you know. And so I was hanging out with him, and we were being degenerates because we were kids at this time. We were, like, not kids, but maybe 18 or 19. And we were parked in the parking lot of a bank, and we were smoking weed, and he took a hit of his little, like, weed pen and started coughing, like, super hard, like that real guttural, like you're leaning over, coughing. And I'll just demonstrate for you. He's, like, coughing like this. He's in the driver's seat. And he just goes down like that. And I'm, like, thinking that he's just, like, recovering, right, from the cough. And I swear to God, he is down here, and then all of a sudden he just whips back. like, arm, like, hits me, other arm hits the window, and starts seizuring. Like, full seizuring.
What?
In the car. Like, and I'm like, hi, right?
Yeah.
And I'm like 19, and I'm like, what the fuck? And he's like shaking and like, you know, foaming at the mouth and just all this crazy stuff. And I'm like, Daniel. Like, I hope he's okay with me telling this story. Anyways, I'm like, Daniel. And just, there's nothing you can do. Someone's having a seizure, you can't stop it. It's just going. And then it goes for like, I don't know how long. It felt like a really long time. It was probably like 10 seconds or 15 seconds.
Yeah.
And then he just like drops back down, like just slumps back down. It was literally like a possession. Like he was possessed by a demon for a few seconds. Goes back down and then like looks up at me. And I was like, traumatized.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
I'm like, are you okay? And he's like, And I was like, are you good? He had no idea what happened. I was like, you just had a seizure. And then we had to switch seats, and I had to drive him to the hospital.
Yeah, okay. See, that was going to be my next thing.
Yeah, I drove him to the hospital.
I was nervous. So you're saying you're 19 and you're high?
Oh, no,
Some people would be like...
Drove him straight to the hospital, and they said that it was from taking too much Tylenol, so just be careful.
Oh, yeah,
It just jogged my memory of that. It was super, super scary, and they ended up saying it was not, like, a real seizure, but it was, like, a type of, like, shock.
Yeah, he just blacked out and just kind of went numb and just...
From all the medicine.
Body started tweaking off. Yeah.
They were like, you gotta take way less of that, but
right?
It was crazy. He was ODing on Tylenol. Very possible to do.
Wow. I'm glad that you took him to the hospital because I thought you were going to be like...
I called his dad. I was like, Daniel just is dying, I think. I don't know what to do. Like, it was real crazy. It was not something you want to deal with as a child, as a high child.
Yeah, exactly, right? Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. It was nuts.
Hell no.
It was really nuts.
Hell no, because I think, like, I remember one time, one of my classes, this one girl was telling a story once, and she said that this girl, like, drank too much, and she was, like, having a seizure or something like that. That's why I started connecting the stories. Mm-hmm. And she just said that they just put her in the bathtub and put the water on her.
That's so not okay.
And then didn't call anyone, never went to the hospital, and like, the girl's, like, fine now. But I'm like...
Yeah, but she could have not been.
And I was like... And I remember in that class, we had, like, a bunch of... I mean, I don't call him an old head. I know he listens to the podcast, but he is old to me because he's 14 years older than me. But he doesn't look like it. But he doesn't look like it.
Old head.
And
I'll call him an old head for you.
But he doesn't look like it. It's crazy. Actually, I think you met him at...
Who? Say his name. You're like, you listen to the podcast.
Josh. He has his own podcast. It's called something. I'll remember. I'll look it up. I'll remember.
Big shout out to maybe Josh, who has a podcast that we don't know.
It was Josh. But so you met him at TPC, Golf Open, Waste Management. Big beard. Remember him?
No.
Were you there with us? You were not there with us. You weren't.
Was it this last one?
Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't go. I had a competition that weekend.
Yep. Nah, that's what I remember. You didn't. That was actually...
Yeah, I was super depressed, and I brought my boss home with me we had a lunch break on the competition, and I figured that, because all the girls, shout out to Bitch Squad, all my girlfriends were at my apartment pre-gaming for the golf
like 6 in the morning or something, right?
No, this was like noon. It was like 11. It was not... I thought they would be gone.
This was this year?
This was this past one, and they hadn't left yet. It maybe was 10:30. I mean, it was late enough that I figured they wouldn't be there, and so I brought the owner of my studio over to my apartment, which was cool because she's like 30. Like, she's not old. She was very cool, like, pretty, you know... Like, she knows the deal as far as, like, getting fucked up on the weekend with girls. But I was not expecting for them to be there, and we walked up, and I got to the bottom of the stairs, and I could hear them upstairs screaming. Like, full screaming. Sounded like a bunch of apes in my apartment.
Because they started early.
Yeah, but they didn't leave. They were still in my apartment.
For like 4 hours, yeah.
So I'm, like, at the bottom, and I'm like, Sarah, we're gonna... Because we needed a break from the competition. Like, anybody who has done... competitions, dancing knows, like, when you have a whole weekend competing you gotta get out of there sometimes, because it's so draining, especially when you're a professional in a room full of amateurs. People want to talk to you all day. You're in, like, this crazy costume. You're putting on all these shows. Your students are like, oh my god, like, in love with you. And so it's draining. You gotta get out of there. So we were like, we gotta go. So I'm like, oh my god, I'm so sorry, Sarah. Like, they are definitely still in the apartment. And they are definitely so fucked up right now. I was like, you might see some stuff going on.
Yeah, right?
That, like, I just gotta win. And she's like, it's no problem. Like, dance world, nobody cares, you know what I mean? It's not, like, professional like that. So she was fine, and we went up. But it was so embarrassing for a second, because I walk in and they're like, hey! I'm, like, so obsessed, and I'm like, my boss is here. Like, please calm down. And we just went out on the patio and chain smoked some cigarettes and
there we go.
Let them head out. But it was a little jarring.
I know, I was invited for that. I was invited for that 6 a.m. rendezvous, and I decided that I was going to sleep in, and I said, I'll just meet you there. And I was like, I know I'm going to drink already enough.
Waste management is always such a shit show.
It's wasted management.
It's wasted management in every sense of the word. You're wasting your money. You're getting wasted. Yeah. It's just
think about
a
it. Okay,
whole...
think about this. This is
event.
Waste of money. 100%. You go to the grocery store and you buy $60 worth of booze.
To get a ticket.
To get one ticket.
And then you get there, and the drinks are $20 a piece, and a light pour.
Yeah, and then,
they're like this big in a Dixie cup.
Or if you want a beer, like a bad warm beer, and it's like, okay, here's $7.
So,
like,
literally,
like,
it's so gross. And then they,
sucks.
like, look at you nasty if you don't tip, and I'm like,
I
just paid $20 for a vodka soda that's, like, 3 ounces.
Yeah,
like,
exactly.
I'm so not tipping on this.
So, it is... Okay.
But we go back every time. I love waste management.
I
will be going if it is on.
Yeah.
It probably won't happen in 2021. It's usually like February, right?
Yeah, February. That was right before everything started locking down, too, so... That's tough. That's going to be tough to think about.
Yeah, we're going to miss out on that. Because that would be the
last one.
I really feel, not to be selfish, but I really feel so robbed by COVID, because I'm like... I'm 24. I'm about to age out of being, like, in my early 20s.
Yeah.
And I'm going to have nothing to speak of for 2021. It's going to be completely... Nothing's going to happen. I'm going to have no concerts.
You have enough to speak of for 2020. I mean, because of 2020 being 2020.
I mean
the longest year of our lives.
Fun things.
The longest year of our lives. But but the month of November has been flying by so fast.
October and November flew. 2020 was... without a doubt.
Give me one word. 2020.
The worst fucking year of my life. Devastating.
Devastating.
Personally, devastating. World news, devastating. I will say, the shining light of 2020 that gives me some hope. Big shouts to Biden 2020. Big shouts. Super happy.
Oh.
Literally woke up in my bed. I had been following this shit just like everybody in the world, you know, just constantly. Like, I'm at work getting no work done because the election screen on Twitter is just up. And on, Thursday morning? And I woke up and it was 7 a.m.
Was it Thursday morning?
I think
was it Friday?
It was one of the two. I won't commit to either one. It was probably Friday. You're probably right. And I looked and it was like, top of my screen was like, AP and NBC called the election for Biden. And I was like, alone in my apartment. Raina wasn't even home. And I like screamed. It was like something came out of me. The demons came out of me. And I'm not kidding. I have been on a high since then. Like, I've been having the best week of my life.
Okay.
It's been amazing. I've been like working out. I've been like eating well. I'm like not depressed, you know, just like living my best life.
Yeah, all right. So
Joe Biden cured me. He cured 2020.
So Joe Biden, actually, I saw today. It was on Fox, for.
Oh yeah,
Phoenix.
Let's talk about Fox.
Fox for Phoenix Twitter page, and it looks like Arizona finally just finished all the tallying of all the votes.
And
Biden won by like 11,000.
Let's
go.
There'll
be a
Blue Wave, Arizona.
So
there will be a recount.
Like the recount of like the 9 states.
We won't even get political. We don't even need to. But I'm just saying,
We could.
That's the one. I don't think we need to. I'm really good on that. I'm like, it's so draining for me to talk politics.
Especially because we did 3 days. I did Tuesday night, Wednesday all day, and Thursday all day.
Literally.
Of watching.
Literally.
I was sitting on CNN the whole time.
No, the whole time. I was on ABC News the entire time. And it was like, it was good. I'm glad with the outcome. I know it's still, like, we got some months to power through here, but, like, it's so draining sometimes to talk about it. And I go to work, and, like, this is no shade to, like, if you support Trump, I don't really, like, you know, I don't fucking have that much to say about it, to be honest. Like, everybody supports Trump for whatever reason. I don't agree with it. You do your thing. But, like, everybody that I work with is a Trump supporter.
Yeah.
Besides one of them. And so I gotta sit through this all day of the complaining and the not accepting the results, and everything is a fraud, everything is a, you know, conspiracy and whatever. And I'm just like, I can't talk about it anymore.
Like, you know, I feel your pain there, but in a sense of just in politics in general, is that it's such a repetitive conversation.
Well, here's the thing for me.
Go ahead.
Is like, I wasn't at all involved in politics before Trump was president. I only became involved, and I wouldn't even call myself involved in politics, but I only became, like, someone that pays attention to it because of Trump being president. It was so wild and unbelievable, and you had to pay attention to it. Trump has not you couldn't ignore it if you wanted to. Right? Like, the way this presidency has gone, whether you support it or not, you can't ignore the sensationalism of Donald Trump being our president. Like,
sure, you can be a Republican, right? You can be a Republican.
But Donald Trump being the
saying.
President is, like, the craziest thing that's ever happened. Whether you like it and you're into it, or whether you hate it and you're not into it. Like, it is the craziest thing that's ever fucking happened to our country. So...
A celebrity. It's someone that's on the apprentice.
It's
saying
a celebrity. We didn't think that was even possible, right? So, like, everybody tuned in to his presidency. And that's why everybody tuned in to vote this year, is because you can't not be involved with him. Mm-hmm. So, like, to me, 4 years of that is just, I don't know how politicians do it. Because it makes me tired. It, like, really makes me tired.
So I have two things on that. The two things are, one, how many flags do you think they're going to say Biden, Harris 2020? I guarantee 0.
Not many, because it looks stupid.
It's the dumbest thing. I thought it was the dumbest thing.
I saw a tweet, I don't know who, maybe it was Chrissy Teigen, because she's fucking hilarious on Twitter. But someone was like, I don't know what the original tweet was. Something about, like, so if Biden got, like, the most votes ever of any presidential candidate, how come I don't see anybody flying a Biden-Harris flag ever? I never see that, whatever, some Trump supporter saying that. And I think it was Chrissy Teigen. Maybe it wasn't. Quote tweeted it and was like, because we know how fucking stupid it looks.
Yeah.
Like,
that's dumb.
That's dictator shit. Like, I don't care to fly a flag with the president's name on it.
Yeah.
We fly the American flag because that's our country. Yeah. I'll fly the Arizona flag because go Arizona. When do we fly flags with people's names on it?
It's so weird. It's so weird. Like,
are we bowing down to our leader now? Like, is that what we're doing?
The weirdest thing, I think. The weirdest thing. That was so weird. Because, and okay, now I'll tell you this, is that when I talk to Republican friends, they say...
by the way, like, born and raised Republican. Like, I am a registered Republican that voted all Democrat this election. That is not because I'm a Democrat. Like, I maybe should honestly switch parties, but, like, I don't... there's a lot of things on the Democratic side of things that I'm not, like, fully on board with. Yeah. But there's more things with Trump that I'm not on board with.
I get
you know what I mean?
It's more against... It's him,
So
right?
it's not... There's no shade to Republicans. Yeah. I don't think the Republican Party has anything to apologize for. I just think that this is not the guy.
But it was funny to me, though, because a couple people, I go, oh, like you didn't see people driving around with Obama flags for 8 years, and they go, it's because he wasn't a good president.
That's not why.
And I go, no, it's because
it's because he's not a dictator,
it's stupid.
And because he didn't make his presidency about him. He wasn't like, Obama, how fucking awesome am I? You guys love me. Everybody loves me. Like, I'm the best. He was the president, and he did president shit.
Yeah.
Trump is like, look at me all the time. He's a celebrity. He wants to be celebrated. That's the basis of the word, you know? Like, so it's no surprise to me that he loves Trump flags. He loves being celebrated. He wants people to worship him.
As a celebrity, he pretty much reached the highest peak that he could have hit, right?
100%. He did everything that you could do.
But that's why he's taking this right now so hard. Because it's an L in his column, and how many L's does the Trump name have in his family? Probably
damn near zero. Very minimal. And if they did, they paid him off
exactly.
To hush
so
it
I will
up.
say this too. Like I'm not a Democrat. I wouldn't say I'm a Republican either. I'm a libertarian. I like weed, but I like guns, but I like this and I like that.
I don't fuck with guns.
And I don't think that like the government should be so involved with the things that we do.
Yeah, I think the government doesn't need to be so involved. I think across the board the government doesn't need to be so involved. I don't really care about...
Have you ever gone shooting before?
Yeah.
Okay.
I have. That's what people always say. People are like, if you're not for guns, you should shoot a gun.
No, but did you like it or... I mean, it's all... I mean,
I did like it. Yeah. I thought it was fun. I went out to the desert and, like, shot shit in the desert. I don't see why you need to have one in your home. Like, I don't really get that.
I respect it. Like,
but I also don't think that you shouldn't have the right to have one in your home. I don't think there's a reason for you to have, like, an AR-15 in your home. I don't really get that. Like, I don't see why, you know, military weapons need to be available for civilian use. But I'm not really passionate about it. I don't care. As long as you're not, like, mowing down people, I don't really care. I think the problem with it is that people who want to mow down a bunch of people in a public place
most of them don't even have a gun.
Can get a gun pretty easily.
Yeah, I mean...
They can, like...
I mean, you can get any... I mean, like, if you think about it in that sense, though, too, like, we pretty much can get anything right now. We can go on blackmarket.com or whatever it is.
You can get anything. But they can get it legally. Easily.
Yeah,
like,
I get that.
Very easily.
I get that, too. Like, and obviously
that's the only thing. And I'm, again, like, not passionate about it. Like, if you have a good argument and you can prove me wrong, I'm open to hear it. I'm not, like, take everyone's guns away. I don't care if you have a gun. I'm just saying personally, like, they scare me. I don't really like to be around them.
Yeah,
if somebody has a gun and they're around me, I'm uncomfortable. But do you? Like, my dad has a gun. It doesn't bother me. I'm just like, I don't want one.
So, like, the way I look at it, too, is it's like a hobby, right? So I think it was in a hobby. Like, people, like, collect them or they buy them and they create them and they make them the best.
Yeah,
look, right?
I mean, like, whatever. Do your thing.
And that's
don't
cool,
hurt
right?
people.
No, and
I think when you have a machine gun in your house, that can lead to some bad things.
So people don't have machine guns. Machine guns are not.
Okay, but you know what I'm saying. Obviously, I'm not well versed in this.
Okay,
but
sorry. You started sounding like my mom there for a second. You said machine
automatic assault rifles.
Semi-automatic assault rifle.
Right.
All
okay.
We'll go with that one.
I don't think it's necessary.
No, true. I get.
It's
I get what you're
definitely
saying.
a hobby thing.
I get what you're saying. It's 100% a hobby, and the way I look at it is, it's, you know, it's.
Have a hobby, do it safely. But then, what if you have a child who is a psycho and he steals your gun and he shoots up his school, which is that has happened like a few times.
So it's obviously this is the way the best way to describe it here. Ready? So I'll give you a 2-minute tangent here. Is that?
I keep thinking that you're farting.
No. So this is a little.
I know what it is, but I keep thinking. It's you.
Just send me the notes. All right, I'll give you like a minute tangent really fast.
Okay, go ahead.
Okay, it's not really a tangent, but a quick little. My outlook on this is that you have your people that are against it and the people that are for it, right? The only problem is the people that are like people that are for it, or like the good ones they understand the safety measures that they need to like protect. I mean, not only themselves, but they also use it for a hobby. Obviously, they have kids. They have it safes. They have it locked up. They're smart about their shit, right? You have those people that are for it. Then you have the people that are for it that, you know, maybe don't give a shit, right? They're the bad apples, right?
And they're the loudest ones.
Okay? And then you have the people that are against it, where they have some people have mindsets where they look at someone with a gun and they think, like, do you have guns in your home? Like, are you a mass murderer? And that's not true. Like, because what they're, with the people on the way over here that, you know, the people that are way over here, right, that just think that you're the worst person in the world, they're thinking about the bad apples.
Well,
that's the problem.
I think
that's the problem. It's
yeah,
that
there's always, the problem is always the far left and the far right.
Mm-hmm.
That's always the problem, because the far left doesn't represent Democrats. And the far right, I don't think represents Republicans at all. Because I know, like, the people in my family that are Republicans, when I, you know, sit down with my dad and really, like, get into it with him and break down the issues, we mostly agree.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, he's not a bad guy because he's a Republican, and I don't think that's fair to say about anybody, but I think with the gun thing, there is reason to be concerned when someone's able to walk into a gun store and walk out with a semi-automatic rifle. Like, it shouldn't be that easy. If you're gonna have, like...
That was good. I gotta give you that one. That was good.
I caught it.
Remembered it.
I think if you're gonna, like, be able to purchase something that can kill really large amounts of people in a really small amount of time, it should be a little bit harder to get a hold of.
I understand that one. So, like, Illinois is, like, a little harder, obviously. Illinois is, like, 72 hours. They do background checks, do everything. Arizona's weird, though, because I know Arizona's
easy as fuck.
Arizona, you can walk in, walk out the same day. I know within,
yep.
I think it was
no, my dad went in, he shot for, like, once and walked out with a gun, and 10,000 rounds.
Oh, 10,000 rounds.
10,000 rounds.
Some money.
He said it was cheaper to buy 10,000 rounds. Like, Dad.
Buy in bulk. Yeah.
Yeah, I was like, when are you going to use 10,000 rounds?
Always ready for...
Anyways, but I'm just saying, like, I don't care that much either way. Again, like, I'm not, have your guns. I really don't care. I just think, like, it's too easy for them to get into the hands of people who want to.
I think even, and again, it's those smart people that own guns. I think they even think that themselves. I've talked to them before. They know.
A responsible gun owner should be like, I'm responsible. I don't want an irresponsible person to have the same thing.
Those people too even think to themselves, saying, and then I've talked to them before, as they say, you know, it is too easy. Like, there should be ways, but that's the only problem is that. And the funny thing is too is, like you said, far left, far right. Like, in my mind, when I think far right, I think of like KKK people. I think of like just like,
which is, it's how depressing is that?
On the arms, like,
how depressing is that that's what's on the Republican side, like. And
then while you have on the far left is like the Karens of the world, of like the people that just complain about everything because life is so hard. Right? Would you put...
Well, the far left is like... What would you
put to the far left?
I would say, like...
The complainers?
Like Antifa.
Okay.
Is, like, your far left. Okay. You know what I mean? Like,
That's like, we're upset with you as the president, let's go riot right now. That kind of mindset. Let's riot. While other people while these people are protesting, this person wants to go and wreak havoc because they're upset with...
I think the people that are... We could totally get into that. But I also... And this is, like, I understand that this is, like, a controversial opinion, but here's my thing. The people that were rioting to take advantage of the protests going on, that didn't care about the protests and don't care about the message and didn't care about Black Lives Matter, is so not okay. It's robbery. It's not rioting, it's robbery. That's what it is. The people in the very... like, inception of Black Lives Matter, when it just blew up everywhere, and there were some people at Black Lives Matter protests rioting. I know people don't agree with me on this. I was not mad at them. I totally support that movement, and I totally understand where rioting comes from.
Okay.
Like, I understand... I wish it didn't have to happen, but I also wish that Black Lives Matter didn't have to happen. I wish none of it had to happen, but it does, because this is where we're at, right? Like, we're in a country where people are being gunned down in the streets for no reason, and so I would be rioting too. And I don't support, like, the act of rioting, but I also am not going to condemn it, because I think if it was me and my community, I would feel like I'm about to break these fucking windows in too.
Okay.
I think that's where I would be at. I don't support, like, the Jake Pauls of the world that are heading over to Fashion Square and busting a window in the Apple store and doesn't fucking care about the movement at all.
Yeah.
Just taking advantage of it.
Interesting.
That's not okay.
I get what you're saying in a sense, too, because, like, you have to think as well, like, okay, some of these people really, like, these people were burning down their city, right? But when they came out with the, like, conferences about it, the people that were burning things down were people that didn't even live there.
Yeah, generally not associated with the movement at all.
Most of the people...
There were a handful of times when actual, like, organized Black Lives Matter protesters got any kind of violent. Almost never. Like, truly, it's been very peaceful. The violence has come from outside influence, taking advantage of the situation, knowing it's going to be blamed on other people, knowing they're not going to get in trouble because the police are overexerted.
It's like Portland and Seattle right now.
There's no police available to look at the riots because they're at the protest. They're at, this whole string of areas where all of these different demonstrations are going on. Their resources are limited. People know that, and they take advantage of it, and it's not okay. But I'm not going to condemn in any way, like, anything that Black Lives Matter protesters do, because I'm totally in support of that. And I think if the situation was reversed, I would be doing the exact same thing.
No, I get you. I mean, we all do things in our minds, right? And we think certain ways. But it's weird, too, because I have talked to certain people, too, that, and it doesn't matter who, but just, some of the conversations I have with some people, they say, I don't know if I support this Black Lives Matter movement. And I go, well, like, the way you have to stand, like, I told them in this sense, I said, look, like, this is my counter-argument to you saying that. My counter-argument to you saying that is this: take a step back. Like, take a step back for a second and look at this in a sense, because there's always been an issue. There's always been injustice from police to African Americans, right? So you have to take a step back and look at it, especially as a white privileged male,
this
right?
Is the best it's ever been, and we're talking about mass murder. And this is the best it's ever been for Black people in America.
So, like that's why I say you have to take a step back and you have to look at it.
So that's why it's like, imagine if this was your family and you could trace it all the way back to your great-grandparents and say, this is the best it's ever been for us, and we're still being killed, like, for no reason. It would get incredibly disheartening and incredibly frustrating. You would not trust your government. You can't trust the people that are in place to protect and serve, which, by the way, massive respect to the police. I'm not here to be like, fuck the police, like, whatever. I understand that there's a lot of people out there doing good, but, like, you gotta be an empathetic person and understand that if it was you would be very frustrated and very ready for this shit to be moved past. Like, let's all just get to a place where we can not worry about the system of government and the system of the powers that be, like, working against you constantly. Yeah,
that's why I would say, too, like, okay, when I say you have to take a step back, right? You have to take a step back and look at it and say, because they say, well, I don't really support this. I go, so you support that, you think in your mind all lives matter, right? Okay, well, all lives matter can't matter unless Black Lives Matter first, right?
And people don't want to hear that, and people don't care about that.
And people say, well, that doesn't make sense. And I go, no, it makes 100% sense. Because if
we
all
want
lives
all
matter...
lives to matter.
Yes, we all do,
that's
yes.
That's
and
the
Black
goal.
Lives Matter, but Black Lives Matter movement does not want all lives matter.
Black Lives Matter says all lives matter except ours.
Exactly. So that's why
let's make ours matter, and then all lives can matter.
Exactly. Because without Black Lives mattering, then all lives can't matter.
Right.
Exactly. So, and that was the thing, is you have to step back and look at that and say, hey, wait a second, this is
no, but people don't want to hear that. They don't respond to that.
No, they don't. They
dig their heels in.
Because
what
then they bring off this thing where they say, oh, well, these Dems over here with the Antifa, right? And I go, no, like, just how you said it too. That's not a representation of the Democratic Party. I don't think so.
It's not.
Right? I mean,
just like I don't think that the KKK is a representation of the Republican Party.
Yeah.
You should not assume that Antifa is a representation of the Democratic Party.
Exactly.
It's just not.
Exactly. So, it's...
Man, I didn't think we were going to get into that.
We got into it, though. I like it, though. I like that we got into it. I actually, it's kind of cool right now, probably because I'm on my second now. I don't know. I haven't had much food.
Yeah, we're drinking a little.
I haven't had much food today, but I just had like a little out of body one experience where I kind of was looking over here and I was watching us when you were just chatting there for a little bit, and I go, damn, like we went from this to this so fast.
Oh yeah,
and
we leaned in there.
It's great, and that's what I love about this is that
it's good stuff. I mean, it is good. It's a little like, I'm not gonna lie, because like I've never done a podcast before. It's a little nerve-wracking to, like, put your opinions out there and know that people can see it, but I'm also, like, I think my opinions are very... I'm not here to offend anybody.
That's the best part, though.
You know what I mean? Like, I think that my opinions are pretty reasonable. I think if you're a reasonable person, you can see where I'm coming from. I can see where you're coming from, so hopefully nothing, you know,
gets me
in trouble.
But which is good, though, because it's funny. We didn't talk politics with this person. I would say like Mark. Big shout out to Mark, last guest.
Mark.
Good guy. So like, I don't know. I don't know if he's Republican or not, but I think he is.
No, he is.
He is. But in that sense though, like, I had him on the show, and then I had my dad on the show. And my dad's a lefty loosey. Like, he's not too far left, but he's a
like, lefty loosey.
He's like 60.
That's what I am.
He's like 60% over there, and like it's hard to reach him at times, right? But at the same time, he comes back once in a while. My mom might be a little bit further where he can't reach her, right? And then like you have Arian too, where he's been, we've talked politics too with him, and like he's more of a libertarian. He's gonna love that I just said that about him now because I've been painting him as a very liberal Republican lately. So. And
as
then,
a very liberal Republican.
Yeah, like, I've been going back and forth. I've been telling people he's liberal and he's Republican, and he goes, wait, liberal Republican? He goes, that's independent party, and I go,
kind of contradictory.
I go, whatever, man. So and we've had like other guests on the show too where their mindsets might be a little too far this way or too far that way, and so it's good. It's good because we're meeting in the middle here. I like this. It's a middle conversation because. I mean, some of the things you said.
I think
a
lot of America exists in the middle.
Oh, I
think most of America exists in the middle.
If the independent party could get enough votes. I have faith in the
fact that American people are rational and empathetic, and that a lot of us can see points on both sides. I think if we get so far gone that people can't see points on both sides, then there's just no hope for anybody. Like, you gotta be able to see when something makes sense.
Mm-hmm. What I will say to you this, though, Addie, is this. I think our parents' generation ruined it for us in the sense that you can't ask someone who they voted for because your mindset in that is...
It's inappropriate.
Ask. But I think in the future, you will walk out and people are like, yo, who'd you vote for? I'll be like, oh, I voted for this guy.
I think because of this election, because of the last two, people are so outspoken about who they voted for. That is gonna, for sure, I agree.
Because our parents definitely ingrained that in our brain. Because when I was younger, like I'd be like, "Hey, Dad, who'd you vote for?" I'd be like, "I'm not telling you. I don't have to tell you. It's my right not to tell you."
When we would do like the little fake, like elementary school when there would be an election, like, and we would vote in our classrooms and whatever. And I remember my mom and my dad being like, you don't have to tell anybody who you voted for, which is true. You don't have to tell anybody. It's your right to just vote the way you want to vote and keep it to yourself. But they would tell me, like, you don't have to tell. You can just, obviously they send me to school. They say, this is who you're going to vote. I don't fucking know anything. I'm like 7.
Yeah.
I'm like voting for George Bush, But I didn't know anything.
Yeah.
So you can't. Don't hold it against me. But they would tell me, they would be like, just keep it to yourself.
But our parents definitely ruined that for us, I think, in a sense, because now as years progress now, like, I mean, I feel weird when I ask. Like, I don't want to ask someone, but then I do, because I'm like, I'm just curious. Like, I know you. God. Like, you're my friend.
You know what? I want to know. Walking into my work, like, on Wednesday morning was so weird. Because I wanted so badly to, like, connect with someone and be like, we voted Biden, right? You know what I mean? Nobody wanted to talk about it. Like, nobody even mentioned it until the doctor that I worked for walked in and he starts, spouting all this shit. But even then, like, he was just talking and everybody was kind of like, okay, whatever, because, like, you own the company. Nobody's going to be like, you're, an asshole. But, and he's not an asshole, by the way. He's a very, very nice guy. I love working for him. But, you're not free to speak your opinion at that point, because the CEO of the company is telling you what he thinks. You're not going to, like, if you don't agree, you're not going to say anything, is my point.
Yeah.
So, it is weird. I was, like, desperate to be like, is someone on the same page with me here? Because I'm so stressed out about it, and I, like, am watching, and it's up on my screen all day, and nobody's really comfortable, like, speaking on it.
Okay, so I will say this, too, is I was supposed to vote in Illinois, but my registration didn't come in time, so then I ran to the, what is this, I went to Maricopa County Clerk Office.
Mm-hmm, yeah.
Ended up registering that day and being able to vote that day.
Nice.
I'll say who I voted for. I voted for Joe Jorgensen. I'm lucky to compare it to my mom.
What an asshole you are.
My mom said this. Okay, I'll tell you this. She said, you're lucky that Biden won Arizona.
Yeah, you are. Because if he didn't, you wasted. Anyways.
That's a different discussion. That's a whole.
We just won't even get into that.
Because I don't
even want to get into that.
That one's. All right, we'll move past it. So that's what I want for though, because that was my first time I ever got to vote. It was my first time I ever got to vote at the age of 23.
And you threw it in the garbage.
Well, that's what I got to do. I was like, hey, because my last time...
You might as well have voted for Kanye West. That's all.
I thought about it. I'm not going to lie.
I'm sure you did.
I thought about Mickey Mouse, too. I was like, I'll just do a write-in for Mickey Mouse. Who wouldn't want...
Who wouldn't
want... Because my first time I got to vote. Like, it's my right? I got the first time. My first time I actually was supposed to vote was Hillary Clinton and Donald Trump. And I remember looking at it going, the fuck do I want to vote for?
Who did you vote for?
I didn't vote for either. I didn't even vote. I didn't even vote that year.
Okay.
Didn't even register.
All right. Here's my thing. I love when people complain about their country and they didn't vote.
Yeah, you can't complain.
You can't complain.
No,
don't say shit.
No.
I don't want to hear shit from you.
No.
If you didn't vote.
Exactly. I mean, that's what I'm
You have one ultimate right in this country, and that is to elect your representatives who are going to speak for you and who are going to make laws for you and represent you. If you don't vote, I do not want to hear your opinion. Whether you agree with me or not, you did not exercise your basic right to have somebody in office who represents you.
Yeah,
and so I don't fucking care what you did. Like,
so for 4 years, didn't complain at all, because I was like, I just kind of looked at it and
I don't care what you think. Like,
laughed,
it's
right?
like...
And then this year, though, I
think that was really hard for people that didn't vote in 2016, was people saw what a shit show everything went to, and they had all these criticisms of Trump, but you didn't vote because you didn't want to vote for Hillary.
Me?
Not you.
No.
Just people in general.
I also, I'm not gonna lie, I just got lazy and didn't register.
Because I didn't want to vote for Hillary.
That was pretty much my thing.
I'll say, like, she was not my pick.
That was, I say, that most people voted for Trump because
they didn't want to vote for him.
Exactly.
It was the same the other way. I don't think most people, like, I voted for Hillary.
People voted for
I didn't vote for Hillary because I was like, I love Hillary. I don't love Hillary. I voted for her because I was like, Trump cannot be president. Like, that will not go well, and I will go on record and say that I was right about that. But I think that that's what this election came down to as well. I don't think a lot of the people that voted for Biden, like, love Biden. Yeah. I think it just came down to, like, we gotta just get this guy out of office, like, at any cost.
What I will say, though, is that I do miss getting a text message every single day. Sometimes don't get a text message every single day. And
Did you feel really popular with all the voting texts?
Oh, my goodness. Every single one, like, hey, it's Hannah. I'm like, oh, Hannah, like, what you look like, Hannah? Like,
you know what's so crazy? Did they do that on purpose? Because all mine were from men.
It was, like, next gen, and it was all, like,
all of mine were from men. It would be like, hey, it's Brian. Hey, it's Mark.
Oh.
Hey, it's Jeremy.
Didn't even... Well, no, because I had a lot of guys, too.
Oh.
Nope.
My Siri just started listening.
Fuck off, Siri.
That's not for you, girl.
But no, same thing. But like, I had probably 50%. But every single time a girl popped up, I'm like,
you're like, what you look like?
Like, girl, like, what you up to? Like, I know they got you working hard
I'm
over
free
at Next
Friday,
Trend,
girl. I'm free.
like...
I'm free Tuesday. When you're off Tuesday, when we're done with all this shit Tuesday, you trying to go out?
Yeah, exactly. Like, I was thinking, I'm like...
Kimberly, you're
like,
trying to go out?
Yeah, like, come on, Hannah. I know what you... Hannah, like, I know you're sitting there probably mass texting.
It's the new
like,
Hinge. It's the new Hinge.
Oh,
you get a voter text and you're like, hey, I'll vote the way you want. Like, we go on a date.
Okay, I want to ask you this.
What's up?
You think that... Like, okay, let's put these three websites, these three dating apps into
Oh, okay.
By the way, it's funny. I will say this. I'll let the people know too. We created an outline and we're way nowhere near it.
We're not even touching it.
And I'm okay with it right now because we're grooving right now.
I'm so sorry.
We're grooving right now.
We were gonna talk about such different stuff. We can maybe get back to it. You can maybe edit this a little.
Yeah, we'll figure it out. Probably not. This will be posted straight off.
Oh.
But anyways, all right. So we got 3 apps, right? I want to know what you think of each app, right? I'll give you my 3 opinions, and you give me your 3 opinions back. Okay.
Okay.
You have Tinder, Bumble, and Hinge. Okay.
Okay.
I think of Tinder as a swipe right game when you're sitting on the pooper, and you swipe right on the girl, and you go boom, and then you maybe have a conversation, and you got like maybe about a 30% chance of hooking up with this girl, or you're just not gonna respond to each other.
Okay.
Bumble is tough because the girls respond to you first.
Yeah.
And most of the girls that respond to you first...
most of the girls that respond to you first.
I don't know. Most people that I know that just they say like Bumble it.
Is it a little bit of a shit show?
It's like the girls that didn't like...
Couldn't make it on the other ones.
Yeah, pretty much. It's like...
Okay, that's the B team.
They're like the C team.
Oh.
Like the B team is
they're
Tinder.
JV.
They're
JV.
freshman
team.
They're freshman team. Tinder is like JV because like they're all young girls too, like a lot of young girls. And then Hinge.
You be careful with what you're saying there with the young girls. We're talking about legal girls.
18,
yeah, okay,
18, 19 years old. And then Hinge is...
Are you allowed to be on Tinder when you're under 18?
I was when I was younger, but I think they changed it now. I was on it when I was like 16 or 17 years old. And then I got banned from it or something like that. And then I got
You were on it I didn't think it existed.
I got on like 16 or 17 years old.
When we were 16.
Yeah, it existed.
Are you sure?
When I was 16 years old, I was on it. I had it on my iPad.
I guess I had no reason to be on it.
I had it on my iPad. Well, I wasn't
using dating apps in high school.
I was just trying to find hot girls to look at. That was
I wasn't on dating apps in high school.
I wasn't trying to date somebody.
It was like you were going to date or hook up with someone at your high school or nobody at all.
Oh, yeah. But so Tinder, though, was just in high school, it was just like this girl's hot. Let's look through her pictures. Let's find her on Instagram.
I didn't even know it existed. Okay, anyway,
and then you have Hinge. And then you have Hinge, right? And I think Hinge is more of a...
it's more elite.
I think like 80% of the women, from my point of view, the 80% of the women are more like it's a date first, maybe even a date second.
Okay. I'm ready to give my opinions.
Okay.
And I will say, I've spent no time on Tinder or Bumble.
Okay.
I don't even think that I think I downloaded Bumble like 5 years ago, maybe for like a month. Like, I really don't know much about either of those apps. And because I've like opened them up on your phone and been like, I don't even know what to do here. Like,
yeah.
I think for me, like, Tinder is for just like, you're just hooking up on that app. So, my guess would be like the pickings are probably like slimmer.
Like you get a lot of smoke shows. I'll tell you that right now. You get a lot of smoke shows. But you
get a lot of like just people aren't going on dates.
Oh no, you're just strictly it's like shooting fish in a barrel.
You're hooking up. Like you're 100%. On Tinder to hook up. And I think that that's what Tinder wants. I think that that's their whole vibe. Yeah. I think Tinder is like Grindr for straight people. Like how Grindr is like
great. That was great.
There's a gay guy 5 feet away from you. Grindr tells you how far away people are in feet.
Okay, so Tinder only tells you miles.
If you are in the same room as someone, they'll tell you this person's 20 feet away from you on Grindr. Don't ask me how I know that. And it's literally like just for fucking. Like I used to be friends with this guy, and he would go on Grindr, and I saw him one time match and invite this guy over to his place, and the guy, I'm like, let me see his profile, whatever. Didn't even have the guy's face in it. It was just pictures of his body and wiener. And that was it. And they hooked up. Yeah, but so that's...
His wiener. You go, his body and his wiener.
And his wiener. His little guy down there. So I think that that's like what Tinder is for straight people. Even though I think that you can use Tinder also. I think you can use all of them as a gay person as well. But that's the comparison I would make. Bumble, I don't have any respect for Bumble. I just think it's weird. I think it's strange. I think, like, maybe I'm totally off base, but I just feel like girls that are on Bumble are very, like, that's very desperate to me a little bit. Like, it's probably not, but, like, I'm not cool with messaging a guy first. And that's just probably, like, very old-fashioned of me.
What do you say? You say hi? Like, okay,
I'm just not into that. Like, I'm not into that because I'm not into, like... I need someone to chase me. Like, I'm not going to message you first. You know what I mean? That's just never going to happen. Like, I'm not going to do it. So, Bumble's just not a thing for me. Hinge, I feel like, is a little bit... Like, I think it's a lot classier. I think it's a lot
it's almost
more...
It's almost like Facebook.
They market it as, like, this is a dating app. You are supposed to go on dates with people from this app.
And they check up on you. They check up on you all the time, too.
They check if you went on a date. They check if you got their number or whatever. And, like, to be fair, I also really haven't ever gone on Hinge dates either. Like, I don't really go on dating app dates. I've only been on one.
Really?
Ever. I've only been on one, and it was a couple years ago, before my last boyfriend was on Hinge, and went on one date with a guy, and it was like, I thought it went well, and then he never texted me back, which is cool, whatever. He's dating I'm not even gonna, anyways. I think he downgraded with his current girlfriend, but, he was not apparently into me, and that was the only date I ever went on, and I was like, no, and we're not doing it again.
I've been on several
yeah, I know you
several
have.
Hinge dates, but
they've worked out fairly well for you. You've gotten that dick wet a few times.
I think out of 80% of the dates I've been on, I've done well for myself.
You've gots it in. You've puts the dick in.
Exactly. There you go. And then,
my hair looks so anyways.
The other 20% though, I will say this though, like I had one girl, I'll never forget this one. We had a blast. Absolute blast.
Loves that.
She was talking the whole time. She was talking more than I was, and I was like, yes, you are the one for me. I was like, I'll put a
someone that talks more than you is hard to find.
Yeah, and I was like, you're cool.
I feel like I talk the same amount as you, and like the concept of talking more than you is like it makes me tired.
Oh yeah, and she was cool. She's super cool, super cute. I was like, I'll put a ring on your finger tomorrow for sure. Went on a date, whatever, and then sure enough, like I hit her up maybe. Then she was like busy next weekend. I was like, whatever.
She wasn't really busy. She didn't want to see you.
And then I don't know, for 2 weeks I kept like
she wasn't into you, Kyle.
Like, what's up? Like she even but the worst was that
if she's not free the next weekend, she wasn't into you.
What she told me though, what was crushing for me though, is that she looked at me and said, "Oh, like let's do this again sometime," instead of me saying that to her. So then I was like, "That's different. That's not something normal."
She was taking charge, but she was lying.
Yeah, she was lying.
She was lying. She was a lying bitch.
Little bitch, like fuck.
Dude, I totally vibe with that. I do be lying to every guy ever. I'm always lying. I'm always lying. That gets me into a lot of trouble, by the way. Like,
okay, we can bring this to who? Okay, I know you're gonna listen to this, Lindsay. I know you're gonna listen to this because she told me, and she told us in front of us once. She's like, I don't know. This might get her. She might get mad at me for this, but who knows if she'll get this far. But she looked at me, and I think you guys call her out for it. And you're like, no, like you cancel on these guys because you just get like nervous and think like something's gonna happen, and then you.
Oh, Lindsay's hilarious. She is the worst. I never was as bad as Lindsay, but Lindsay cracks me the fuck up every time. She is like the most entertaining person to be friends with because she'll be like, hey, do you want to go out tonight? I'm like, yeah. And I'll be over to her house, and it's like 10 p.m., or 9, whatever. We're drinking, we're pre-gaming, we're about to go out to the clubs, pre-COVID. And she will be like, I have a date, like, right now. And I'm like, oh, so you're not going on the date? And she's like, no. And I'm like, oh, okay, well, like, what, you know, I'll, like, ask her about it. And she's like, no, he's at the restaurant. Like, he's there at the restaurant right now. And I'll be like, oh, no shit. And she will, I've seen her do this. She'll say, I'm on my way, I'm wearing a red top, whatever. And then she'll just block their number.
Oh my
she'll
gosh.
just leave them sitting at the restaurant. And she's like,
gosh.
they think that she's like about to walk in and she just blocks their number. She's the queen of blocking people's number. She has more contacts blocked than I've ever seen in my life. She does that, like, I don't know how often now. I don't know how often she's, like, really doing Hinge now. I don't think she's really doing it anymore. But when she was real active on there, she was, like, scheduling dates and just bailing and blocking. It was her move. It was amazing to watch. Fascinating to watch.
Devastating for the bro.
It was really tough. Do you know how heartbroken I would be if that happened to me? I would legit, like, not leave my bed for, like, 3 days. If a guy was like, I'm wearing a black shirt, I'm on my way, and I just sat there, and he never showed up, and then I tried to call him, and my number was blocked.
That's why you always come, a little, like, a half hour, like,
oh, first of all, I don't go anywhere unless I know the other person is already there.
Or they pick you up, right? That's
I don't get picked up for first dates. It's sketchy. I need a way out. You gotta be able to get.
Yeah, but now you have a way out. Like, you have Uber,
and also,
you have these other things.
And also, I don't need this man knowing where I live. Like, you don't need to have my address. Like, I've had enough struggle as far as, like, men that just are real stalkery and, like, real creepy, where I'm like, you don't get my address until I know who you are as a person.
Okay, alright, so let me ask you this then. How soon is too soon to give your number to someone?
I mean, I'll give my number out, like, pretty easily.
But is it a snap first then number? Or is it a number first?
No. I don't do Snapchat.
Okay.
I don't do Snapchat with guys because if a guy asks for my Snapchat instead of my number, I'm like, you're just an asshole. Like, you just want nudes, you know?
Yeah.
Like, ask for my number. I'll give you my number. I might not reply, but I'll give you my number.
I'll give you my number, and then, you know, a couple of weeks later, I'll send you some nudes.
I'll probably do Snapchat later. Like, I'll do Snapchat later.
Yeah.
By the way, don't use Snapchat for nudes. I don't really send nudes at all.
It's been a long time.
I've sent nudes 3 times in my life. 2 of them were to boyfriends. 1 of them was not. 1 of them, actually, 4 times. 1 of them, me and Lindsay and Raina just totally were, like, wilding out one night, and I let Lindsay have my Hinge. I just gave it to her, and she matched with this guy, and then she started just assaulting him, like, immediately. Like, she was, like, super sexual right away, like, trying to see if she could get a dick pic from him just for fun. And he added us on Snapchat. He thought he was just only talking to me. He added me on Snapchat. We sent him a video of, like, all of us, like, flashing our tits, and he blocked me.
What?
Yeah. He got scared away. He was like, you guys are crazy, and well, it wasn't me, it was Lindsay, but she was like, send your dick, and he blocked us. I think he thought it was a scam. Yeah, he was probably like, this is too good to be true.
Oh, yeah?
Or he thought we all had bad tits, which is not the case, by the way.
You heard it here first. It's not the case.
It's not the case. Really good stuff happening here. I think he thought it was a scam. I think he probably thought that we were gonna, like, sell it for money or, like, blackmail him or something. Because it was, like, within, like, 20 minutes. Like, we were like, let's go. And I was never gonna meet him or anything, but it was just, anyways.
Oh, yeah, and you would have hit that screenshot right away.
Oh, 100%.
You would have put on that 1 second, you replayed
Definitely.
it, screenshot that sucker.
Definitely.
Oh, I'm sure.
Oh, I was about to screenshot the shit out of that.
I'm sure.
I thought it was hilarious.
Oh,
he was not falling for it.
Oh, no.
He was probably a really good guy and was like, what is this girl talking about? Like, he couldn't deal with it. That's fine.
Oh,
I couldn't either if I was him.
No, I nudes. I think I've sent maybe like 4 times, 4 girls.
You know what's hilarious? Guys' nudes are so bad.
Oh,
Girls don't want them. I don't want them. I've never asked for nudes from anybody except for my last boyfriend. I asked. I hope he never hears this. But he was like, he's like, are you kidding? And I was like, no, like, send me a dick pic. And he was like, okay. And so he's standing in his room, in his mirror, like, trying to, like, send me a dick pic. And he sends it, and it was good. It was a decent, I was like, I'm into that. And then right after, he texts me all caps. He's like, oh my God! And I'm like, what? And he's like, my fucking blinds were open! And he was like, he lives in like an apartment complex, and he was like, there's like 6 units that view like directly into his apartment. And his apartment is right by the parking lot. So like, it's a frequently trafficked area, and he just about lost his mind. He was like, I think because he, you gotta get hard for the two standing in front of his open window, like, jerking it, trying to get hard in the mirror, standing up with his phone out. And he's like, I think everyone saw it.
Oh my goodness.
I was like, I'm so sorry, but the result was beautiful.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, so big shout out to guys who have to jack off before sending a nude. Like, I don't have to do anything. I just, like, lift the shirt up and go,
Yeah, I know girls don't want it. Like, the only time like I said, 4 times, and out of all 4, I think maybe once was like, yeah, girl, you want this?
You want this dick? She's like, no thanks.
Yeah, pretty much, probably one of those.
She's like, you send it if you
want.
want.
But, like, the other 3 were like, they sent them, and they're like, what you got? And I'm like, right.
What you got? Oh, what a line.
Let me go fucking shave real quick. Like, it's been fucking like
Let me go shave.
It's been like 6 months for me. Like, just give me a second.
Disgusting.
But,
yeah, because you're a hairy guy. Yeah, not that I would know. I've never seen his dick, but like, I've seen your chest. And it's pretty. It's hairy.
I got commented on the other day, and someone was like,
I don't mind hair.
Okay.
I don't mind hair at all.
See, someone the other day goes,
I almost prefer it.
I was wearing like a fleece or something like that with no shirt underneath, and I sent a picture to someone, and they're like, look, oh, you don't take care of that chest hair, and I was like,
it's weird.
I have a pretty good track record, and I haven't had any complaints yet, so I think we're okay.
No, I have no complaints against chest hair. I think it's like manly, but I think what's weird is when guys shave their chest hair, because then when it grows back, it's like, it's prickly.
So won't go on the camera. Won't go on the camera.
But
look,
fun.
stomach. See, same thing.
You shaved.
It's
yeah,
it's like a prickle. I know what you're saying.
There's no reason to do that. Just leave it.
Yeah, well,
I'll just, because you guys couldn't see that. I'll just say, like, there's no reason for you to do that. Like, it grows back prickly. It's not fun to touch. You don't want to, if people shave up here, and then you're, like, cuddling and you, like, lay your face on it, it's like laying your face on someone's 5 o'clock shadow.
Yeah.
It's not comfortable. It's like, just let it be, like, fuzzy and soft, and I can, like, run my fingers through it and lay my head on it.
Twist it up a little bit.
It's fine.
Make some braids.
Totally. Yeah, no, my ex had, like, hella chest hair, and I never, I didn't have any problem with it. I was into it. I thought it was nice. Thought he looked like a whole ass man. Like, I was into it.
Like a whole ass bear, right? Like,
yeah, we're good.
I was like, I remember one time we're at the
back hair, not okay.
Oh,
chest hair, we're good. We're good. Just leave it. Let it be.
Like one time I remember I was at the pool at the cottages with Jacob, and he's on the phone with Cherry or something like that, and he's talking to him. All of a sudden, I take my shirt off to go in the pool, and he goes, "Hold on, man. I think Kyle trimmed his stomach hair again. And, I'm looking at it right now, and he goes, I think I might want to feel it." And I'm like, "Fuck out of here, man." He's like, "Dog, you
give
really
it the
can't
little
do
one
that."
too.
And like, think about it. You got like 2 like bears talking to each other on the phone.
Dude,
like 2 hairy dudes.
It's just let it be hairy. There's no like, I'm telling you, I don't know if I'm alone in this, but I do not have any problem with chest hair. I think it's weird if you shave it. Don't shave it. Let it be. Let yourself be a little fuzzy. Like, okay, you're good. You're good.
What would you do if your boyfriend, or hopefully he doesn't hear me. Let's not say his name though.
Josh.
But hopefully he doesn't hear me. he said that he trims his armpit hair.
That's fucking weird to do. It's weird to do. Josh, stop doing that.
All right, well, we'll move forward though. So
that's enough. Don't. The only hair you need to take care of is the down there hair, and if you have back hair, try to take care of that, because nobody thinks back hair is cute. But, like, other than that, don't shave. Like, you're fine. Hair is, like, a masculine thing. There's no issue with having body. Like, you're good. It's good. Leave it.
Do you think that there will ever be a time in our lives where a girl can be hairy as shit like a man, like legs like this and, like, chest hair,
like sexy,
where like a guy look at him and be like, wow?
Not probably in our lifetime, no, but eventually I do think so, because there's already the movement there. Girls are already not shaving their armpits. Girls are already not shaving their legs.
Free the nipple out. Let's free the nipple.
That is not what I was talking about.
I was thinking about free the nipple. Also. You said the armpit, and
we know the men support free the nipple. That's like
Miley Cyrus started that shit, and I was
I'm saying
Miley.
There's a whole, demographic of women that don't want to shave, and I think that's fine. Do whatever you want. I don't think that conventionally it's going to be viewed as sexy anytime soon, but, like, do what you want. I don't care. If you find a guy that, like, thinks your armpit hair is cute, do your thing. Whatever. I don't care what people do. I don't think it's going to be on the cover of, like, like those magazines where now, like, what's the
I don't know, you know what I'm talking about.
Sports Illustrated or whatever. Like, they're not going to be on the cover of, like, some sexy ass magazine, but yeah, I think we're moving in that direction. I think probably in the next, like, 150 years.
Oh, okay. So not in my lifetime, not in my kid's lifetime.
I don't think it's going to be, it's going to be, like, anytime soon. Maybe I'm totally wrong, but I think for people to change their view of what's sexy, it takes a long time.
I mean, okay, just now that we started getting to the point where, like, they put women that, maybe construed as fat, right? Where they put them out and say, these are models.
Well,
and,
but
like,
also think about...
These make money as models.
Also think about what was viewed as, like, the ideal body type back in, like, 2005 when you're talking about, like, Christina Aguilera and Britney Spears, who were literally stick thin. Yeah. And people are not into that now. Like, having a big butt was a bad thing.
Oh, now it's all
10 years ago. 15 years ago. And so maybe I'm wrong. Maybe people can change their view of what's sexy, but I look at those pictures of the women that were really, really, really famous. Really famous, yeah. Really, really famous and really hot, 15 years ago, and they just don't look anything like what would be sexy now.
Like, I would say this, okay, Jennifer Aniston, right? Perfect example. She has no butt at all.
Yeah.
I think she has no butt. But I liked her in Friends because she always had hard nips. That's why I liked her, right? Okay?
Fine.
Get mad at me if you want, but
sure.
She always had boobs were poking through those shirts, and I was like, yeah, like Jennifer Aniston, you're the best. But, like, in that sense, though, but if you think about it in that sense, like that's what sold through Friends, right? From 1990 to 2005, right?
I think that still sells. People love hard nips.
Oh, yeah, I think people still love tits, but I think that the ass has become
the age of the tits is over, which is really unfortunate for me because...
Really? You think so?
Well, I mean, not that, like, people don't like tits, but, like, people like ass. Like, the whole, like, are you a boob man or an ass man? Almost nobody will say that they're a boob man. Almost anybody would prefer an ass nowadays. Like, I think that's
what's so
really
weird,
the direction
what's
that we've
so
gone.
Weird, if you really bring this down way down, and I'm going to really ruin people's mindsets on this for, like, these 30 seconds they're going to think about this. So they shit out of. People shit out of their ass. And you look at their ass and say,
agree.
Yeah, look at that badonkadonk on that girl. Like,
I totally agree. I'm ready for
me?
the age of boobs to come back because I have a lot of nothing going on in the ass department and a lot of something going on in the tits department. So I'm ready for people to stop paying so much attention to ass. That would really benefit me a lot. But it's just not the way that things are going right now. So it's been tough.
That's why we set up this camera how it was, too. You know that, right? Yeah, one of those. I'm just kidding. Maybe a little bit. I mean, I know what sells in America.
Yeah, we know.
It's like
there's a reason this is like the first filmed episode.
No. This is number 7.
Oh.
It's number 7.
I don't watch. I don't listen.
It's okay. Well, now you will. Well, maybe.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah. Maybe. Who knows? I'm not gonna lie. I don't listen to mine because my voice.
Here's the thing. I don't want to listen to people talk about sports. So.
We're not talking about sports.
Well, you and me, because I have nothing to say about sports.
We don't have it. We're not even. That shouldn't even be part of the
conversation. All right. Shall we touch on any other topic?
All right. So this is what I do.
Because we're getting up there. We're.
Yeah.
We're 140.
Yeah. We'll crank out here in a little bit here. So right. I do want to.
I'm not like itching to get out. I'm just saying like. We really got off topic here.
Oh, we did.
Really got away from the subject.
So we're gonna. What I did want to talk about to you, and I think
look at the producer over here.
I think this would be good to do. I think we already hit funny stories a little bit.
Oh, for sure. Yeah, we got a few funny ones.
We pretty much did how we met. We kind of talked about this one, but. Okay, I know. I'm actually curious.
Yeah.
I'm curious.
Okay.
Okay, so you were a dance teacher.
Yes.
You did dance competitions, all that kind of fun jazz.
I swept, by the way.
Swept. What do you mean swept?
Like first.
Like
I do begin first.
Mop it, like mop and clean
mopping
windows.
it up.
Okay.
Cleaning it up.
Okay.
Yeah, when I was doing pro dancing, I was fucking honestly murdering it. So.
Okay, so let me ask you this: when you were teaching, right?
Mm-hmm.
This was the one thing I wanted to bring up to you because I thought this was kind of interesting. Was what would you say is the easiest for you what was the easiest for you to learn?
Well, I didn't have to.
We'll start there.
I didn't have to learn. By the time I was teaching, I didn't have to learn anything.
Okay.
I was teaching
easiest,
because I knew.
Okay, what was the easiest for you to teach people? What dance?
I mean, so it depends on what you're talking about because I would teach couples, and there's a couple different type of couples that would come in. You'd have wedding couples who wanted you to choreograph their wedding dance.
Probably the hardest one?
That was my favorite one.
Okay.
Because...
It's 1v2 just in the room?
Well, it's always 1v2, but people that came in for their wedding dances had such a motivation, right? They had a date. This was their wedding. They had a song. This was their first dance. And they were ready. They needed to learn it. You know what I mean? So they were very motivated.
They set the schedule and they're like,
they committed, they do all these lessons.
We gotta get this done.
And they learned really well. They were super focused. They didn't get discouraged. They were very much just give us this thing. And wedding dances are fun too because as a dancer, one of the most fun things for me is choreographing. And so even though wedding dances are very easy, they're not quite the same as choreographing like an actual like dance team dance. It's very far off from that, but it is fun to just create little movements, do things that are going to make people's bodies look nice, do things that are going to create these nice little like moments for the photographer, for them to have like these awesome shots of like a really cool dip, or if they're up for like a cute lift or a moment. You choreograph moments in dances where I did this at least. I would choreograph moments where they would have a chance to just like look at each other, and I would be like, make sure during this, like, you just look each other in the eye. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Like, take that moment to be really present. That was a big thing for me in choreographing wedding dances, was I wanted to make sure that they had moments where they didn't have to think very hard, so that, because you only get one wedding day. Yeah. You want to make sure that you're in the moment, and having a choreographed dance can make that difficult because you're so focused on making sure you don't mess up, that I would make sure to put 3 or 4 little points in there where they could just like connect with each other and be able to be present. And that's a good photo op, and it's good for them, So that was really fun for me, and wedding couples are very willing to do whatever. I would show them the choreography. They would either like it or not. And as someone who's danced their whole life, if they didn't like it, it was very easy to like change it, pitch them something else. Do you like this instead? Like, they were really my favorite students. I also taught like casual couples that would come in that wanted to learn like country dancing. They wanted to go to the bars, or they wanted to learn like salsa or whatever. And really all of it on a basic level was...
What was the hardest then?
The hardest to teach was, like, maybe if they wanted to do, like, formal stuff. If we had couples that they would be like, we watch Dancing with the Stars a lot. And we want to learn how to tango. And we want to learn how to waltz and stuff like that. That's the hardest stuff to learn. Yeah. For sure. Because there's a technique to it. And there's really specific timing to it. Especially tango and waltz. Like, super, super specific timing. That, you know... The thing about dancing is that you will feel it when you're in time with the music. And so if you get out of time, suddenly it becomes, like, very abstract and very, like, not easy to understand. So when you're teaching waltz and tango, the first thing you have to teach is, like, here's how you're moving with the beat. And some people, and this is, like, really nothing you can do about it. Some people hear music well, and some people don't hear music well. And that's okay, but it's hard to teach someone who doesn't hear music well
teach rhythm,
how to be a good dancer.
I mean, rhythm, I think, right? I mean, if you come in with rhythm already, you kind of have basis, right?
Yeah, you kind of either have it or you don't, and you can still learn how to dance either way. You can still learn fun movements, you can do all that, but, like, you're never going to be a really talented dancer if you don't inherently have a good sense of rhythm and a good sense of musical timing. Yeah. So they were all, you know, to some people, like, tango was, like, the easiest one, you know, and to some people it was impossible and they couldn't do it. They just couldn't get the hang of it. So, but then I also had, like, group classes that I would do, which were just, like, fun. Like, I would do, like, jazz dances or, you know, hip-hop dances or whatever. I would have kids classes. I did adult classes. And that was really fun because you don't have a partner. So you're really able to just, like, be super expressive. The choreography can get a lot more complicated because you don't have to teach it to two people together. You can just teach it to one person. This is the movement and you do it this way. That was super fun. So I think it just depends on who your student is.
Yeah. Like, yeah. So it's funny though. Like, it's funny though if you think about it is, like, the difference between what you're describing compared to, like, when you go to the club, right?
Oh, it's not even similar.
It's not even close to being even the same at all. And which is funny, too, in my mind, because I've been told I'm a horrible dancer, right? And I get that. Maybe I don't have much rhythm. But what the fuck am I supposed to do? Like, you're in a tight space. If I'm not dancing with a girl, what am I... You want me to fucking start, like...
Well, I think
want me to start doing, like, those, like, TikTok dances and stuff like that?
The thing about being in a club is, like, there's no wrong way to do that. You know what I mean? Being in a club is just... You're just dancing, like, the way that you feel the music. So, I don't think there's any wrong way to do that. I think also for me, like, as a trained dancer, it's so funny because I've been in the club and had, like, Chris be like, how are you a dance teacher? Because what I'm good at is choreographed movement. Yeah. I'm good at doing tricks. I can do the leaps. I can do the turns. I can perform super well. I can do a choreographed dance really well. At the club, like, I'm not bad, I don't think, but, like, I definitely know there have been some times where I'm like, you know, I'm not really sure what I'm doing here. I think that's, like, two completely different types of dancing. It's feeling just whatever you want to do.
In the moment, yeah.
Or, like, being able to do choreography.
Exactly, so choreographed or in the moment. Pretty much
and they don't necessarily translate to each other. Like, you can be super, like, hot on the dance floor, looking good, whatever.
Like, what do you want me to do? You want me to be like Chris Brown in the club and, like, be doing backflips and shit like that?
Right, that's not normal.
Or, like, the one where, like, you lay down and, like, you come back up, like, those are cool. Yeah, like the...
So, like, I think if you're, you know, obviously, like, I could whip out some fucking crazy shit in the club and people would be like, oh my god, but, like, nobody does that.
And people
you're just, like, kind of, like,
oh my god, you probably get, oh my god, from, like, their friends, and then the other people would be like, what the fuck's this person doing? Like,
I'm good at if someone, like, holds out their hand and they want to do, like, the turning stuff, like, I got you, like, we're good, but I think dancing,
you know who was infamous
just
for that?
in the club versus dancing in a studio is just, like...
You know who was very infamous for that?
What, doing the turning and stuff?
Yes, you know who's always the guy that always will put his hand out and go, let's dance.
It sounds like Jacob.
100%. I have seen him do it hundreds of times.
That's the way to go.
For
it's
what?
the
I
way
lived
to
with
go.
him for a year.
It's very, like, polite.
And
then you can take it somewhere else.
He wouldn't do it at the club, but, like, it'd be, like, at the house, or, like, it'd be, like, with friends or whatever else, and he'd be like, hey, let's dance. And
that's me. That's what I do. I'll, like, grab someone and be like, throw me around.
Like, okay, like, that's cool, man. Like, and then someone will do, and then, like, I've had it too, like, where I've tried to do it, like, to rein it right, just to mess with her, and she'll look at me and be like, I'm not grabbing your hand, and I'm like, okay, well, like, I'm never doing this ever again, because I just got shot down by my friend, like, that's
whatever.
Great. It's funny, though, because he is infamous for it. He is so infamous.
So
like,
funny.
I mean, he does it all the time.
He seems like he would be. That was my first guess. I was like, yeah, Jacob seems like he would reach his hand out and dance with someone.
Exactly.
Which is great. Like, I totally prefer that. I think that's, like, a fun way to dance with someone without feeling, like, pressured to be, like, grinding with them or something.
So, okay,
you know?
I wanna go me a little forward. We'll try to wrap this sucker up soon. Here.
Okay, we'll wrap it up.
So, what I want to get into, and I thought this one was a fun one for me, because obviously 2020 is the time of, it's devastating, as you said earlier. Devastating.
Truly devastating.
So I thought this one was a fun one right here, because it's let's paint a picture, right? Okay, so let's paint a picture, and it's Friday, right? So it's Friday, it's... What time you get out of work? 5 o'clock? 4 o'clock?
Yeah.
Okay, so let's say it's 3:30, 4 o'clock on a Friday. There's no such thing as COVID. There's no such thing as COVID in your mind at all.
Yeah.
It's the weekend, right?
Yeah.
What's going on? Like what ensues in the next 48 hours? I mean, and don't throw yourself under the bus or you're gonna get in trouble. But give enough where, because, like, okay, how I can paint this picture to you is, I didn't really work when I've been at ASU, so that don't really work for me. And,
but just your Friday night.
But my Friday night, it's probably like 8 o'clock, and depends who I'm living with. If I'm living at the colleges, I was living with the guys. Chances are, Jacob or Chris says, mostly it was Jacob, would be like, yeah, like, what do you think we go to Mill tonight or something like that, or we go to Old Town.
Well, it also, like, it depends how old I am, cause, like,
okay, so give it to me.
When I was
college
age,
so
which is
22,
inappropriate.
So 22.
Yeah. Okay.
You're still an appropriate age. We're still an appropriate age.
When I was 22, oh man, 22 was quite a year for me.
You're a year off of being legal to drink.
I was a year off of that. I mean, my Friday night was very routine. I had my group of girls, and that was, like, concrete. So, like, we would be Friday night, it would be, like, what's the plan? We would figure out, we would all get off of work, and then, usually, like, we would all get ready together. So we would be like, we're going out tonight. You know, we always went out. So we would go over to one person's house. I used to go over to Lindsay's apartment a lot when she lived in her studio. And we would go over, we'd get ready together. We'd have, like, a bomb-ass playlist of, like, 2000s music and just, like, jam out, get ready, pregame, whatever. We'd have, like, a lineup. We would arrange a lineup of, like, 3 or 4, like, idiot guys who wanted us to come to their tables or wanted us to come to their party or whatever. And we would tell all of them that we were coming. Like, yes. Put us down for a yes.
Yeah.
All of them. We would quadruple book ourselves.
Oh, yeah, of course.
So then we would go out, we'd hit the first one, whatever. We'd, like, party, get a bunch of free drinks. If there were guys there that we were interested in, we might stay. Otherwise, we're probably going to leave. Like, back in the day, we would hop to, like, 6 or 7 places in one night. So we'd go, drink at one table. Go to the next person in the lineup, drink at their table. Go to the next person in the lineup, drink at their table. And every single one of those tables, when we were leaving, it was, we're going to head to the restroom real quick, we'll be right back, and then we would sneak out.
Yeah.
So that way, if we wanted to come back, you know, they knew that we left, but nobody's mad, because it's like, we came back. So it was always just finding, you know, who could offer us the best night.
Experience, the best experience.
Yeah,
much, right?
Whoever could offer us the best night was who we would stay with. If you had, like, a cool after party, we were always down at after party, which is so funny now, because, like, I haven't been to an after party in, like, so long, even before COVID, like, in so long. We just don't do that anymore. But But, like, we would just find the people that had, whether, like, guys that we were interested in or whatever else that they could offer us. And
so at what age did house parties become non-existent besides
I think house parties, like, stopped for me when I turned 21.
Okay.
I think the only house party that I go to now is, like, a mansion party. Like, if it's, like, an arranged mansion party.
Yeah, like someone Airbnb'd out this place. And, like,
or it's some rich guy's mansion where he's, then we'll do that. Luckily, like, being in Scottsdale, I'll say, like, I've made friends with a lot of really cool people who have a lot of money, and they throw really cool events and stuff, and so we're able to do that. I'll go to that for sure, but, like,
coolest person. Any big names? Anything good? Anything you can say?
I was thinking about if we were going to talk about this, by the way, because, like...
You didn't sign any, like, NDAs, did you? Have you ever signed an NDA? Well, okay, rephrase that. You ever signed an NDA before, like, going to a party? Let's say that.
I mean, I don't really think I can say that, like, necessarily. I've definitely been to parties where, like...
Big names show up?
Yeah.
And you didn't, and, like, you're still able to have your phone and, like, still, like...
You can't have your phone.
You still can't have your phone?
Yeah, you can't have your phone.
What do you do? So you put it in a locker or something like that?
Yeah, they'll take it from you.
So, like, it's like valet for your phone, pretty much? They have a security
they take your phone from you, or just if they say it out, like, you're gone. Like, nobody takes their phone out. Like, if your phone's out, you'd be stupid to take your phone out, because you want to be at this party, you want to be here with these people.
In the moment, yeah.
If you take your phone out, you know you're going to get thrown out. Like, you just don't take your phone out. They tell you, don't take your phone out. Like, if you take your phone out, we're going to kick you out. You don't want to do that, so you don't take your phone out.
Yeah, because
I think the best one for that, I mean, if we're talking about that, is when I went to the Grammy party, was the perfect example of that. Was like, do not touch your phone. It is in your purse. Leave it there. Don't even check your texts. Don't even pull it out to check the time. You don't pull that shit out, because if you want to be here in this room with these people, that's what you're going to do.
Yeah.
That's what's comfortable when you're in a room full of people who are, like, legit, like, A-list celebrities. The only way for them to be able to, like, party and be normal amongst each other is to have the trust in the room that nobody's filming them. Yeah. So you can't be the one that ruins that. You know what I mean? You want to be in this room.
I mean, like, okay,
you put your fucking phone away. They don't have their phones out either.
No? Okay, that's what I'm saying. Like, none of them do?
No, the only one that, like, at the Grammy party, the only one that had their phone out was Cardi. And she was allowed to have her phone out because she's fucking Cardi B. So she's allowed to. She's allowed to have her phone out. Yeah, no, she had it out. I think only for a little bit. She had it out for, like, a few minutes and filmed, you know, whatever, and put it on her story, and that was it. But, like, I certainly did not. I did not have.
See, because I asked that because, okay, we were in Vegas a few weeks ago, and Jacob's buddy Matt was at the club, and he was at Marquee, I think it was. It was the only, like, one of the only 2 clubs that were open in Vegas. Mm-hmm. That's only in Vegas. Like, it's outdoor. It's like an outdoor thing, I guess. It's on the rooftop or whatever it is. And he was there, and LeBron showed up with the trophy and everything like that. Yeah. And he said that, I remember, I think what he said. You can't
have it out.
No, he took it out because every single person and their mother took it out. And it was like, oh shit, like it's COVID.
But they don't want you to have it out.
Like, people are taking pictures of him and stuff like that, like from a distance, and he's just sitting there with like no. I mean, how many times? Okay, let me ask this: how many times have you seen, like, a pro athlete of that, like, scale, with that drink in his hand? Yeah. Slim to none.
Well, and I'll tell you, because of the same their environment, PR team is so when good. They go out, there's a whole team of people there that are making sure nobody takes a picture of them. Mm-hmm. Like, the whole club gets shut down. That's what I'm saying. Like, when I went to this party, this was the night of the Grammys. Like, this was a Grammy after party. Like, there were fucking, like, tippy top of your A-list celebrities in the room. You cannot. There's just everybody that works there, all of their not only the venue, like, staff, but their personal staff is walking around. They're just like, if you take your phone out, you're done. Yeah. You're just absolutely done. They will take your phone and, like, smash it on the floor. Like, they're not going to let you keep that picture that you just took. Yeah. They'll pay you off. They'll tell you to delete it if you're, like, just willing to delete it. You know, they'll tell you to put your phone away if you haven't taken a picture yet. Like, they're not letting it happen. There's no chance. Is it the
I forget which one it is. It's like the gala. I think it's the gala. That's the one that's the
Met Gala.
Met Gala. Is that the one where they all go in the bathroom, the celebrities go in the bathroom, they smoke cigarettes together? They're not supposed to, but they do.
That's, like, everywhere. That's the Grammys, the Oscars. They're all, like, fucked up.
Because, like, that's hilarious. Like, because you think in your head...
those events, they are all, like, blackout drunk. Like, not all of them, but, like, you think about, like, you know, Meryl Streep goes to these, or, like, you know, these icons, like... They're fucked up. Like, they go in the bathroom and smoke. They're getting shit-faced at their tables. Like, these celebrities are fucked up, and you will not see one picture from those events. Like, how many times have you seen just, like, a photo of someone from the Oscars? You don't see it because you're not allowed to take... And there's that respect in that room of... These are people that could really suffer from a bad photo of them getting out. And if you want to be in that room... then you're not going to do that.
About, like,
and if you want to do that, you'll never get back in that room again.
Like the Grammys, all of those big things, right? Oscars, whatever else. Those people are drinking, sitting there drinking. I know they are.
Oh, they're shit-faced, yeah.
But when they pan those cameras over, there's never a drink in their hand.
No, because they tell you cameras are on, and they're all sitting there.
Boom, as soon as the camera goes away, boom, they're chugging.
They're fucking drinking, yeah. Oh, for definitely. Sure. You should have seen, like, at this one that I was at, like, I guess I don't really want to, like, talk about it too much, but, like, literally people that you very much know, buying bottles for the whole restaurant, dancing, getting up on stage, doing their music, because it's the Grammys, so everybody there's a musical artist, you know, getting up on stage, grabbing the mic, performing... Like, and everybody's
it's like karaoke for the
everybody's
the rich.
just intermixed, everybody's just kind of partying together, and it's very fun. But you would be an idiot to grab your phone and jeopardize.
I don't think I would. Because I'm also
no, nobody would. I saw one girl pull her phone out, and her boyfriend got literally, like, grabbed and picked up and escorted the fuck out. Like, it just doesn't. It's not. You're stupid, because if you want to be there experiencing this thing, it's how much do you value the experience of this versus how much do you value a picture of this. Yeah. It's like, I would rather be there and be able to talk about it than try to take a picture and get kicked out. Like, I don't need to take the picture.
It's that mental picture.
That whole night will never leave my brain. The whole time I was like, remember this, remember this, remember this. Like, it was so cool that... Yeah, I didn't even think to bring my phone out, because I was like, there's no way I'm going to even chance getting kicked out of this room.
It's funny too in that sense too. Okay, so, throwback to like a year ago, we were in, we'll get this sucker wrapped up here pretty soon. But, so, I remember being at Bottled Blonde in Scottsdale, and I run into Raina, and Eddie Lacy walks by, and I go, I was like, it's Eddie Lacy. You look at me, you're like, fucking relax, bro. And I was like,
he's here all the time.
Yeah, I'm like,
no, I'm like, and he's also just trying to party.
Yeah,
like, he doesn't need to be like,
I know. So then I was like, okay, cool. So then, of course, you know, my dumb ass, I'm drunk, right? And I go walk up to him later on, like, after she finally, like, you know, smooths out everything with him, and, like, he's cool.
Yeah, you guys are all kind of together.
We're, like, in this little clique together, myself, her, and him, and I'm talking to him a little bit, and I, like, started laughing. I was like, yeah, I'm a Chicago Bears fan. Like, you play for the Packers. I'm supposed to hate you. And he goes, like, let's put all the past in the past, man. He goes, you want a shot? And in my mind, right, I was like, it didn't hit me that, like,
Eddie's a really cool guy, by the way.
But it didn't hit me in that moment saying, like, whoa, like, Eddie Lacy's buying me a shot. Instead, it was more of like, and it was just like, this human being is buying me a shot.
Like, because like, I was in the moment. Once you're in, once you're with them, they're just people. They're just people. Like, everybody, I was super starstruck, because there were, again, like, I don't really know if I didn't sign anything, but I just feel weird, like, dropping names, you know what I mean? But, like, I guess it doesn't really matter. I guess it doesn't really matter. But in that party that I was at, there were like really big names, like, and when they're standing, you know, where you are and buying you a bottle and buying you a shot, they're just a fucking guy. Like, it's jarring because it's like, I know, like, you're fucking you. Like, yeah, like that's crazy. Like, I've seen you.
Statue of yourself.
I've seen you, like everywhere, forever. Stature. Like, you're huge. But then they're not. They're just...
No, they're human beings. That's the best part about it. And like that was the same thing with Eddie Lacy. I remember when he gave me the first of 3 shots we took together with him. The first one, like,
yeah, they're totally normal.
Didn't cross my mind.
Nobody that I was there with was cocky or anything. The cockiest person there was... I'm just gonna fucking... The cockiest person there, and this wasn't even cocky, but the most, like, you know, outwardly driven person there was Shawn Mendes.
I remember.
Yeah. And he wasn't even being cocky. He was buying drinks for everybody. Like, he was literally buying bottles for everybody, getting up on stage, singing, whatever. But then when you're, like, right there, he's literally just chilling. Like, there's just no weird, like... There's no weird energy of you're a god, you're this it's like when they're right in front of you, it's like he's just a guy. He was just a guy, like, celebrating his first Grammy performance, like, hyped on the night, buying bottles, like, whatever. It just, nobody was mean, nobody was having that attitude of, like,
let's fight someone.
Being above you or whatever. It was just very, like...
Because every single table is someone that's above someone else.
Yeah, every table had somebody.
There's such a high stature.
And it was like, nobody was... It was like, when you're all on the same level like that, nobody acts cocky. They're very nice.
Yeah.
I didn't encounter anyone rude.
No, I mean, and that's the biggest thing too. I think Chris is the biggest thing on that. I always say, like, oh, you know, these people, this person, like, oh, like, I envy that lifestyle, right?
Yeah, but then they get in front of you and you're like, oh, they're just fucking,
like,
they're honestly just normal. They're very rich, but they're just kind of normal.
Like, I could go outside tomorrow and walk into Eddie Lacy and I probably would just talk to him. Like, I've talked to him the past 7 times I ran into him and I've been like, what's up, mofo? Like, what you up to? Like, what you been up to? Like, I don't think of you as the running back that played in the NFL or went to Alabama. They're not scary
anymore. They're not elevated anymore.
Yeah, exactly. It's weird though. It's weird that how you think of like that because they really are. They're just human beings. We are all
just really famous, but they're still just like they put their pants on one leg at a time.
Exactly. They do it. Someone got stomach issues just like me, so that's the best thing, right?
Yeah, totally normal. It is cool. It is a cool experience. And Scottsdale, you get a lot of that. There's a ton of celebrities that come through, and you have a very good chance of meeting someone, you know, famous if you're around here a lot. But over and over again, they're not rude most of the time. They're pretty much just there to fucking party. Like, when Post Malone came through that one time when he was having a show here and he came through, he literally went to, like, Patty's, which is like a very low-key bar, stopped at Patty's, went to like a house party to some random kid, like, and was just, everybody had a good time, and they're very normal people.
Yeah,
so
I mean, like,
you gotta, like, take the expectation away.
Normally the people that are the dicks are like their entourage, I think, more than a sense, because they're not really... people that think they're big in the britches because they're friends with this guy. Yeah, I mean, like, because I think once I ran into Mookie Betts, who's a baseball player, plays for the Dodgers now.
I have to pee really bad.
Yeah. Well, let's wrap this sucker up then. And but anyway, so we did all that kind of fun stuff. But anyways, just running into people, their entourage has always been like that issue. But so anyway, so I just wanted to go over real fast. You know, today we talked about. We talked about nothing on the outline, which was fantastic.
Absolutely nothing.
But we hit dating apps, so we hit dick pics, we hit politics for a big part, with little COVID mixed in all over the place.
We hit our history.
Fuck, I mean, all of it. And I really appreciate you coming on and and being a part of the show.
It was fun.
And I thank you for it. Thank you so much.
Thank you.